There it goes. Bienvenidos. Happy Friday, boys and girls. We're joined by our expert guide, Ren, who has gotten us through pretty much the entirety of Everyman Hybrid. And we're in the final sequence now. And we thought it was only fitting, because there's only like an hour of audio, and then it's just going to be all discussions and conversations, Q&As and shit, that we would bring on somebody who knows far more than we do. And so, of course, we had to bring on Ren. So everybody, say hi to Ren.
Hi, Ren.
It's okay. The chat will catch up eventually. It's fine. We'll have a good little time. I think it's gonna be great. It's gonna be really, really fun. How's everybody's week been? Let's start with some casual chit chat while I just drink my beer. Jordan, how's your week been?
That's a good question. I hardly remember. It's been a kind of a peaceful week, gentle week. Not
peaceful, gentle. Okay.
I watched the movie Heathers, the 1988 movie.
Oh, you watched Heathers? Okay. Well, I didn't see that coming. All right.
It was good.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Ellie showed me it, and it was good. Like from the moment I saw Christian Slater, I was like, I hate that guy, and I was validated because he ended up being the villain.
That's fair. You know what? Your instincts were on it.
And I've started rereading Moby Dick because it's been a while, and I love Moby Dick. I'm about 100 pages in. Love that book. Always love it. I've played a bit more Switch 2. I've ordered the Pro Controller for it. I ordered that last week, but it's been delayed, and it still hasn't come yet. Or it's like waiting around anxious for that. And then in the past couple of days, I've gotten back into watching Among Us videos on YouTube, and that's taken up a lot of my concentration.
Did you say Among Us videos?
Yep.
You did say Among Us videos, like watching content creators play it.
Yeah.
Okay, right. There's not like a weird channel over it.
So like when people know a good etiquette for it to keep it entertaining, it is a very fun.
That's fair, especially when it's like people you like and stuff. Yeah, I can totally get behind that for sure. Ren, how about you? How's your week been?
I've been doing good. I watched 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later in the past couple of days.
Prepping yourself for
28
years
days
later.
Amazing. 28 weeks. That movie is bad.
Not the same. It's definitely not the same. Completely.
Not the same at all. It was a little disappointing. And, yeah, been doing that to catch up so I could watch 28 years, I guess.
I feel
see
that.
some zombie dong or whatever the fuck people keep talking about. That's all I've heard about that movie. Is either it's not that great, or it's the best, or zombie dog. Only things I've heard.
It's the only reason to watch the movie Zombie Dog.
That's my favorite Nintendo character.
Not saying that's why I got into it, but
So that's not the reason I'm watching it. It just so happens to be there, all right? Watch Game of Thrones for the plot, all right? Not all the dog.
Hey, Game of Thrones is good, but there is a lot of gratuitous sex.
Yeah, that's like the norm these days now.
Ellie, I don't think they said zombie dogs. You're thinking.
Oh yeah, no.
You're thinking of Resident Evil.
Dong.
D-O-N-G.
Very different.
Cock.
Very, very different. And then my week. So I've, as people know, because obviously we didn't stream last week, I've been away for about a week and a half. Last week I was in Cornwall for a good little week, visiting my dad, having a good little time, doing a little bit of potential collaboration work upcoming, which the only thing I'm really going to tease about is the title of it. It's called The Lure of Crackmoth. It's very good a story that actually our dad's working on. It's actually it's actually quite fucking good so far, I gotta say. Dripping with atmosphere. That's all you're getting from me. And other potential collaboration efforts, including me getting some potential voice actors for some stories. I think that's going to be really fucking cool. And then after that, we had a surprise visit to Spain to go see our Uncle Paul. He invited us over for a bullfight, which was very eye-opening experience. It's very controversial, and I can see why. It was also the Festival of San Juan, John the Baptist for those in English. And a lot of burning effigies. Over 200 massive fucking effigies that they burn at midnight all the way through 3 a.m. It's quite crazy. It's quite a fun little time. Yeah, gotta say. Very eye-opening, fun little time. And then, naturally came back and started playing Death Stranding 2. And now we're here because, I love you guys so much. I really do. I mean, I could be playing Death Stranding right now, so I do love you guys.
But no, you're stuck here in EMH world for now.
We're
almost done.
No, it's really not that bad. If anything, I know we've been really excited, especially to have you on, Ren, because you're gonna hopefully make a lot more sense for us, which is really gonna help. Because otherwise, I'm just leaving with a lot of frustrations and I'm not going to do anything about it.
Right.
All right, let me catch up with chat.
Well,
Let's see.
I'll do what I can.
Sorry?
I'll do what I can to
I think you'll be fine.
ease your discomforts.
I think you're going to do a great job. I have no worries about that. Let's see. We started with Obstb27. Yo, first one in chat is crazy. A day early, but yes, technically you would have been first. Congratulations. Horror51, you said, what? Yes, I agree. What? Chaos, yo, everyone. Nick Ronka, any moment now. That's right. Chaos says, hi, Ren. Ellie says, hi. Possum Kingdom, hey, Ren. Nick says, hi, Ren. Everybody loving Ren. That's great. Let's see. Chaos says, been alive, pretty sure. LOL. Good, good. Ellie says, force him to watch Heathers. That's right, but it's not really a bad force. You know, not really a bad force at all.
I had a great time with it.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. You know, you could have forced him to watch a really shit film. Chaos says, oh, I found a hardback deluxe edition of Dune for $14.
Nice. That's good.
Sweet. Holy shit.
I love a good hardback.
God, yeah, I agree. Especially for $14. That's a good fucking deal. Chaos also says, I loved 28 Years Later myself. Well, don't spoil it, because I also want to watch it. But hey, it's good to know Zombie Dong, so that's fun. Nick also says, Squid Game 3 is out today. Yes, it is. Don't remind me, because, oh god, I'm so excited. We already explained to Ellie about the zombie dogs, but, you know, Resident Evil as well. That's, I suppose they're zombies. And yeah, I suppose you would call them zombies. So, yeah, that's true. Chaos says, they do not shy away from showing a big old ding. Well, that's definitely today's day and age of TV shows and movies, isn't it? They have far less qualms about sexual things, especially male genitalia now, which, you know what? I'm all for equality, so fuck it. I might not want to see it, but somebody else might want to see it, so hey, you know what? Power to them. As long as it's not like an ugly penis, you know, that's like, I ain't ready for that, you know? Like let's not disturb people too much. Nick says, ew! Grow up, Nick. Ellie says, I love zombie dongs too. You love... You know what? I'm not even going to touch that one. Nick says, ooh, zombie cock. You know what? Those zombies deserve love too, Nick. Let's, you know, tone it down, bud. Tone it down. I'm just kidding with you, don't worry. Nick also says there's a special voice actor for real this time. Oh, yes, I remember us talking about this before. In the audio logs. Yeah, that's okay. Well, you know what? I'm excited to find out who it is.
Oh, it's Patrick Stewart.
You know what? I would be fucking blown away if it was Patrick Stewart. That would be crazy. Chaos says, do they actually at least use as much as possible as I've heard, Nate? Yes. Possum Kingdom says, are we doing tape 3? Excellent question. Ren, are we doing tape 3?
Yep, we sure are.
Boom.
Cool. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Welcome back to chat. She's here for the ending of Everyman Hybrid because, and I'm going to put this very gently, she has not enjoyed it so far, so that's why she has not been here. Which is fine. It's not for everyone, as many things are, and that is okay. But we're here because, you know, we deserve it. Astro Overseer, hi, welcome to chat, buddy. So, my dog broke into my freezer and is now eating ice. Well, it's just frozen water, so he's gonna be alright.
Yeah.
Your dog might have a brain freeze, but it's kind of funny when animals have brain freezes, actually. But he's gonna be alright. You're gonna be alright. Nick says, Vsauce used to have a channel called Dong. Online now, guys.
That's right.
And now it's called Ding,
yeah.
And he acts like it's always called Ding. Well, you know what? Constantly remind him. Constantly remind him. He has to admit it. Can't do some fucking Mandela effect on us. That's not cool. Chaos says, fair enough. Yeah. Ksenia Laws. Hi, welcome to chat. Jumped in here to say hi to Ren. The cover art is fire. Hope y'all have a good stream. Thank you. That's very... I agree. It was well worth putting up for the thumbnail. I thought that was a great fucking call.
It made my week, at least.
I completely agree. Mum, that's a rude word. I'm not going to say that on stream. How dare you? And Nick says, my dog loves ice. Awesome. Oh, Ellie even says the art is really good. That's good.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I like this. A lot of love and appreciation for Ren. This is good. It's a good start. Good start for the day. Let's see if it continues that way, because, well, I don't think we have any issues with Ren, to be fair. That's totally true. I think the issues are definitely going to be towards Everyman Hybrid, but let's get there first. Or as we love to call it, Everyman
we gotta wrap it up before we get into the whole what is Everyman Hybrid.
Yeah. Very, very
hard to answer that question without everything.
Yeah,
Very, very
everyone
true.
always asks, what is Everyman Hybrid? Nobody ever asks, how is Everyman Hybrid?
Honestly, how is it, you know?
Right.
Let's see. So if we go here. So, we've reached our epilogue of Ren's Guide. Box 7 is awarded to the last remaining rabbit from the tournament. I think have we already looked at this, if I remember correctly?
I don't remember.
We have not.
whatsoever.
Okay.
We have not. This was released right after introductions, so this is the very last
Oh,
piece of the puzzle.
okay.
Good, something to read, probably.
Yeah, it might be something to read, which is good, because then you get to read while I drink.
Yeah.
Let's see. On the 30th of December, 2018, Habit tweeted from the EMH account, "Congratulations, Rabbit61. You did it. You did something. Check your closet for box 7. Why is it in his closet? Love the sweater, by the way. Signing off. Rabbit61, Dixie Wolf. That's a cool name. Checked her closet and found box number 7, a briefcase. The combination was set to 704. That's probably significant somehow. And the briefcase opened right away. Inside the briefcase was a lockbox, an answering machine, a spool of purple thread, a pocket knife, a rabbit plushie that had been stitched up with purple thread, and a padded envelope. Okay.
Just like Homestuck.
Just like Homestuck. Inside the rabbit. Okay, so Dixie Wolf used the knife to open up the stitched up rabbit plushie and found the key to the lockbox. Awesome. Inside the lockbox contained 2 tapes for the answering machine labeled Tape 3 and House Phone 2005. A USB drive containing the 18 audio files for Tape 3, available on YouTube, which we do have. A shotgun shell casing, which, if I remember correctly, is probably the very same one that was buried by Alex.
It says it right in the next line.
Oh, does it? Oh,
Yeah.
It does. It does. Wow, I was trying to be really smart. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, and a small pocket watch stopped at 212. Okay. I feel like the pocket watch we've seen as well, but I don't remember where. The envelope contained the following: a Polaroid picture with a sticky note on the back labeling it James Elizabeth Adam.
It'd be Corenthal and his wife, presumably. And
Oh,
Adam,
yeah,
whoever
yeah,
it is.
James Elizabeth
He
Adam.
looks like Rob Walker, like Doug Walker's brother.
He kind of does, doesn't he? How do I close this? Oh, there. And then label on the back. Oh, well, I mean, that's just the same thing, really. A burnt bookmark from Labyrinth Books on the back dates 1589, 1888, 1929, 1971, 1989, 1990, question mark, 1991. Well, it's got to be between 1990 and 1991, right then? Like, why would you... Deep discounts on most books. Fun. Yeah, it's okay. A burnt newspaper clipping from the Princetonian reading.
Should I read this?
Yeah, if you're ready.
In the early hours of February 14th, 2018, a United States Postal Service carrier burst into flames and crashed on Route 1 near the Quaker Bridge Mall exits. No terrorist activity is assumed at this stage of the investigation. One fatality was confirmed by Lawrenceville police, with the name of the mail carrier being withheld until the family can be notified. Surveillance footage from the parking lot of the popular Wawa convenience and food store nearby caught a grainy account of the incident. Day shift manager Pete Wells offered limited comment as he was hurried away to assist fire and police crews who have been surveying the area after the explosion with further details. Wells said, "It's really just bizarre. It looks like something just punched its way out of the mail truck, like an invisible torpedo. Then, seconds later, boom, the whole thing is up in flames." Wawa's classic subs are $4.99 for a limited time.
just throwing a little advert at the end. Okay. A draft of a magazine called Inquisitive Finds, issue number 50. Cryptids in the Classroom, question mark. The cover shows an illustration of the Jersey Devil sitting at a school desk. Inside is handwritten, proof, final draft, Roger. It's a little hard to make out, but yeah, it looks like a little comic-y kind of thing. Okay. And then it's really good that they put the text up. Proof, final draft, Roger is on the back of the magazine. Okay. Oh, more text. You love it. On the back is a printed article reading as follows.
Continued from page 7, The Land of Ash and Waste.
Hmm.
But it stands to reason that although we are allowed to believe that these children, all orphans of tragedy, found some sort of safety, maybe even some sort of happiness, that we, the general public, will and can never know what truly became of them. May the protective services and professional help they were withdrawn into help remedy and heal through these horrific, death-laden events. May they know peace and receive the help they need and so deserve. Picture of 2 boys in folded paper hats is captioned, "Vincent Wright, seen here during happier times." Perhaps future inquiries and study may reveal just that, a happier ending, a new beginning to their young, troubled existences. We manage to catch brief glimpses into their lives, to observe seemingly normal people with happy children, and witness firsthand incredible bouts of unfortunate luck, deranged shortcomings halting a family's growth, terrible ailments manifesting into violence and death, and the ever-lurking presence of a predator hiding in plain sight. As time moves on from the environmental disaster in a small Pennsylvania mining town, and we sift through the ashes of a destroyed community, finding tales of despair and true evil that had lingered just under the surface, almost waiting for that grand metaphorical and sometimes literal spark to reveal such monsters, we should take solace in knowing that the love and strength of our human bonds and relationships lie within us. That while these stories captivate us with their extraordinary pain and scope, that they had swallowed up the lives of people just like us, and with this knowledge, we must always stand strong against such terror. May we forever fight against such evil and hold a stark light against the great, reaching darkness.
The the credits at the bottom of the page are partially obscured by a burn mark, but the following is legible.
Roger, obscured, the lead editor of the publication you have just read, I presume, had the pleasure of perusing, while cryptozoology, the imagination and interest of our editor, his life, the personal experiences and stories, close friends has given him pause and a moment to reconsider the nature of the zine.
I like the that was good. So it's always good to just kind of go with the thing and make it really funny. Okay, so that seems to be. Oh, I suppose there's also the tapes, which I feel like we're going to get into anyway. Should we read some of this anyway, Ren, or do you feel like we can just kind of jump into it?
I would probably just jump into it, starting with tape 3.
Okay, heard. Okay, and that's also what he says there. Tape 3. Okay, it's time. Hybrids.
We're doing this.
Everyman Hybrid. Tape 3. Hold on to your asses. It's an hour long.
It sure is.
Here it is. Jesus, the one time I leave this thing home. Alright, so I'm driving home from group. It's about 9:30, or it was. I'm home now, but I left this frickin' thing at home, of course. Same road that I saw that thing, the dog, the whatever it was. Pitch black. All of a sudden, lights. Or one light.
If anybody needs a quick refresher of what the fuck this is, if I remember correctly, Ren, this is taken out of the Princeton Vinny tapes, correct?
The 1980s.
Just so you guys know.
Sort of changing around as it hovered. And then all of a sudden, gone. Now I'm staring at it trying to figure out what its shape is, because like I said, it's like moving. And I miss this ambulance that's like coming right towards me down the road. It's flashing lights and everything. So I swerve off, right into a ditch. I didn't pop my tire or anything, but I look back up to try and find the light, and it's completely gone, which is impossible. Impossible, because it was so bright. It was like daytime. There's something going on here. And I think I need to talk to somebody.
We saw a UFO.
That's no fish.
It's
Oh,
probably
Zoom,
around
right?
3:30 in the morning. I keep having these dreams of a man, and he has, I don't know if I just can't remember his face or if he doesn't have a face, but I wake up feeling so weird after. I always mean to grab for this thing and kind of like record it and get it down, but this is the first time. I'm going to try and go back to bed.
Not night, Vinny.
So I've been doing some research ever since I saw that light a couple days ago. And I think I'm going to take a trip. There's 2 towns right on the border between New Jersey and Pennsylvania, about 35 minutes from where I am. And they apparently have some sort of pagan, paranormal, witchy stuff going on there. It's pretty accepted there, and they have like storefronts, for God's sake. So I'm going to see if I can just find anybody to talk to about either the naked-ass dog or the hovering, disappearing sun.
We'll catch up and chat in a bit. We'll have a little breather at one point.
So yeah, that's my plan. I'm going to take this along with me, obviously. And I will report back any information for nobody, I guess. All this stuff is crazy. You go to get better somewhere and anyway, I will see what I can do. So I am just a big old idiot. I am here in the New Hope, Lambertville area, and I came here because there is a big, like, witchy paranormal research sort of scene here somewhere. I don't know why I assumed that there would just be someone on every street corner ready to help me out with my my light problem. But there's not. There's not at all. Really, really good coffee, though. Lots of coffee shops, and it's really, really scenic, actually. It's beautiful, right on the river. Shit. I guess I'm kind of back at square one, so I'm gonna go home, maybe check out the library, I don't know, kind of get my grounding, figure out what is going on with these two things that I keep seeing, and go from there. But maybe it wasn't even a UFO. Maybe I just saw a low-flying plane and was like freaked out from the other thing. And
hey, excuse me. Hey, hi. Sorry. Sorry, I heard you say something about UFOs a second ago, and, you know, if I see somebody talking into tape recorders by themselves about UFOs, I usually think, hey, they're my kind of people, you know what I mean?
That sounds like too.
I guess. Who are you?
Friends confirming.
Oh, I am a editor. I'm the head editor at a little zine over at Princeton. It's all about, my name's Roger, by the way, sorry.
Nice to meet you.
It is, we mainly focus on, like, you know, kind of generally paranormal type things, quote unquote paranormal, obviously. My specialty is more on the cryptozoology side of things, but we tend to maybe get a ufologist in or something whenever it's a slow news day, maybe. Did you happen to see something recently? Like,
So, yes, I think. All right, I'm just going to tell you, you may think I'm crazy, but hell.
Try me.
You might okay, fine, sure. About a week ago, I was driving home. I live right around the Princeton area. I'm just outside of Princeton.
Okay.
So it's funny that I came all the way out here only to meet somebody back from Princeton, but whatever. So I'm driving, and all of a sudden, in the sky, really low and really bright, a light seemingly out of nowhere. I didn't see anything like coming my way. It just kind of poof and then was there. And then all of a sudden it kind of, so I'm driving, let's say I'm driving north, it's going south. It stands still for a minute and then starts going south and then it's gone.
Was it just one light or was it several, sort of like in a cluster maybe? Or
no, you know, it was like one big bright light.
Okay.
And it sort of, it radiated so far, though. It almost, like, lit up the whole sky that I could see.
How did it move? Do you remember? Did it kind of, like, have, like, a more like a vertical trajectory and then stop, perhaps? Or did it kind of move in, like, an arc? Because sometimes they can kind of, you know, they'll zip off one way and then they'll stop and then people will be like, oh, what's that? And then they'll zip the other way and then, oh, I need to get on my camera. And then the next thing they know, it's gone, you know? So sometimes, you know, they vary a little bit. So I don't know, Do you remember anything more specific than that?
It wasn't vertical, but I don't know if it had an arc or it was just going straight. I can't remember.
Well, it's something. It's something, you know. So yeah, we've got several people on staff who specialize in that kind of thing. You know,
Cool.
sometimes they say it's military testing, which sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes maybe it isn't. So we are more curious about the latter situation. So if you have any questions or concerns, or need help with anything in that vein, please don't hesitate to give us a call or give me a call. Do you have like a piece of paper or something? I can give you my information.
Yeah. Here, and my name is Vin, by the way. You said you were Roger?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Cool.
Sorry, I was getting a little ahead of myself. 100 miles an hour. Sorry.
It is all right. Yeah, no, I will absolutely give you guys a call. Is this a you number, or is this going to be to your office?
This is a me number, so
Perfect.
Anytime.
Right.
Generally speaking.
Huh.
All right.
Awesome. All right, I will absolutely be giving you a call, and there's some other stuff I might want to talk about later. But I'll be in touch for sure.
Wonderful. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Roger. Talk to you soon.
Absolutely. See ya.
All right, we're already 9 minutes in, and yeah, Tim was that. I like that. Even if it's a little goofy, maybe not super relevant, it's just fun, and I like that. I can appreciate that. Let me catch up with chat, because people have been asking us questions, and it's always polite to not make it feel like I'm completely ignoring them. Let's see.
For the sake of making a comment of my own, like, I feel like we're pulling a Silent Hill 2 here, and we're having the UFO ending now.
You know what? Potentially.
I mean, it's kind of.
Because it definitely felt a little out there, but again, that's why I think it was like it's like how the other like collaborations are maybe not exactly canonical, just like a little bit of goofy fun, isn't it? So, but yeah, you're right. It was kind of a bit left field for it to be like, oh, it was a UFO experience. Like, that's kind of weird to throw into the story, but hey, I mean, I guess these things can happen as well. Let's see. So Nick says, I hope Everyman Hybrid is doing good. I mean, do you mean our streams, or do you mean like in general? Because I mean, Everyman Hybrid's been over, buddy. You know that. Like, I really, I assume they're doing good, but I would not know. Little Duck says, hi guys. Hi Little Duck, good to see you. Possum says, God, I hate how fandom looks like a virus pop-up site with all the random vids and ads. Yeah, but that's the thing about these free things. They got to somehow make money, and I it's annoying. I agree. But I understand. As a person who has to put ads on my videos, I understand. I totally get it. It does suck, though. Little Duck says, it's been a while. It has. It has indeed been a little while. Nick says, that is so creepy that the EMH guys broke into that rabbit's house just to place a box inside their closet for real, though. Well,
I mean,
like...
technically it was Habit did it.
Yeah, so if we're playing into
as far as real life is concerned, that was planned, obviously.
Yeah, no, of course. They didn't actually break into somebody's house and stuff. It was narratively more fun that way. And like you said, it was Habit who did it. So, of course, if they actually committed a crime, well, no, that will be a far more interesting story.
I mean, I think trespassing in abandoned buildings kind of counts, but I mean, that's fine. It's urbex, they're fine.
Well, yeah, trespassing in an abandoned building, it depends on who owns it and how securely they protect the property. It really depends. It really, really does depend. Because, I mean, I've been in a couple of abandoned properties, including an abandoned church. But because that is owned by the government and not owned by a private entity, they don't really stop you. They do have a little sign up that says, oh, it's a little dangerous, don't go in here. But that's all it says. It doesn't say you can't go in there. So it's like, okay, well, I can't really get arrested for it then. Or, say, like, abandoned mining tunnels, right? It's like, I mean, you shouldn't do it, but
well,
you could.
You probably shouldn't do that at all.
No, but, I mean, unless they properly block it off, you could. Not saying do that. Don't
people do all the time.
Very dangerous. Don't do that kind of shit. But, yeah, like proper big buildings and stuff, yeah, it really depends. But, don't break into houses. Don't commit crimes. I want to make sure I get that on camera, so nobody can hold me accountable. Let's see. Nick also says they probably had people help them place it. Of course, Nick. Of course. Oh god, sketched VR plus stop motion. Or it might be dollar catched VR. Oh, it's fine. Yo, are there any other Weird Bird story parts? No. No. It's coming. It is. I don't even know if it's halfway through. I know he's done a fair bit of it. I've seen it, but I've also got confirmation literally from Arcasukas himself. It is not done. I cannot do anything until it's done because people always hate it when I give them a half-finished thing, and then there might be no ending. So I can't give you what isn't there. It'll come one day, or it might not. I'm sorry. It's in his hands. It's not in mine. I just bring you the story, as I do with like everything else. Nick says no. Good answer, Nick. I like that. That was really good. Ellie says, I have Polaroid camera, really need to use it more. Oh, that'd be really cool, Ellie. Yeah, you get some really cool shots of Polaroid cameras. And then, like, Everyman Hybrid, you could put, like, weird, like, names on the back. That'd be kind of fucking cool. Make your own ARG. Sketch VR says, darn. Good. Ezekiel Lujan. Nate, do you like baby back, chilies, baby back ribs, barbecue sauce?
What are we in 2006 now?
I know, right? What the fuck is this? Back in like fucking high school and stuff. What is this? I mean,
that brought me back.
I mean, technically, yeah, I do like barbecue. I do like barbecue ribs, but like, it doesn't have to be Chili's. It can be anybody's barbecue ribs. I'm all for a good time. Nick says, "Wait, what is Weird Birds? We'd be here all day. We're not gonna get into that. It's the thing
it's
that
not Everyman Hybrid.
It's not Everyman Hybrid, but it is one of the things that brought me into the. Well, I'm not going to say YouTube stardom, that's for sure. I'm only at 50,000 subscribers, but it did get me into monetization status. Well, technically no, but it did help me go beyond 4,000 subscribers. I will say that. And it's very cool. It is very cool, but yeah, we don't have time. We don't have time to talk about that. Chaos says, that feels oddly newspaper/online news article legit, though. I mean, yeah, no, I do love... especially for the fans or the rabbits that have received the boxes or the bags and stuff where they get all the things that they really get to like tangibly look at and they get to obviously help uncover some of the story. I think that's fucking awesome. And I like the fact that they get things that, yeah, I mean, obviously are fake in some senses, but it's a tangible thing, isn't it? It puts you in the moment of like, oh my god, they were doing something with the story and now I'm a part of it as well. I think that's awesome. I think that's so cool. It just... You know, I suppose if you don't really get to see those things, obviously it's not like there's an Everyman Hybrid museum or something. But I suppose the wiki is the closest thing you would get, right? But it's nice, especially the fact you get the pictures as well, and some of them do the videos. I think it's a nice touch. Like if the fans didn't do that, that would suck. Nick says Ren. Oh, well, we've already covered. Ren is indeed a he/him. He/him.
Him.
A him.
Deuterino.
A him. Possum says, burnt my coffee, rip. Also, what are we eating tonight, boys? What are we eating tonight?
Well, I've got a Death by Pepperoni pizza, which is 3 separate layers of cheese and pepperoni. It's my favorite pizza from around the corner.
Sounds good.
Can't go wrong. It's just more of what you like. Can't go wrong. And I've got a peri peri loaded box, so it comes with a peri peri chicken burger. It comes with peri-peri chicken strips, and I think peri-peri wings, because sometimes you gotta have a bit of spice in your life, and sometimes I just hate myself, but I love the flavor, so I'll pay for it later. But it's so fucking good. I'm also drinking Desperados, which outside of Europe you might not know, but basically it's similar to Corona, but it also has a very small level of tequila and lime, so it's very tasty, very nice.
Yeah. No, I'm drinking VK Blue. I've had this on the stream. I've had this on the stream before.
It's an Alco pop if you don't know.
It's not too intense, but it quenches my thirst and gets me a little tiny bit buzzed.
Yeah, imagine a soda with alcohol. Ren, what are you drinking?
Root beer.
Classic.
Got me a root beer.
Can never go wrong. Root beer, boys and girls. Root beer. Gotta admit, like. Well, are we talking like A&W? We talking Barks? We talking...
It's Barks.
Barks. Good call. To be fair, I like a lot of the root beer. I think even Mug. I think Mug does a good one as well. There's quite a few good ones.
Mug's pretty good. Barks. A&W.
Yeah.
Root beer.
That's true. I'll drink it anytime. Oh, what was that? I think Bundaberg, because they're like an Australian company. Bundaberg do a nice root beer as well. That's quite good. You
Never had that one.
Yeah, I don't know if it's in the States or not, but we do get it over here, and it comes in like these nice little bottles and everything. It's really fucking good. Really nice. Bundaberg. They also do like ginger beer and stuff. Really good stuff. Little Duck says, I've been so busy with my show thingy, and it turns out Oh, okay. You're gonna have to bear with me. I've so busy with my show thingy, and it's turning out really I'm just taking a break from animation and story making. All I really need to make are those, and the map, the props, etc.
Yeah.
It's very hard for me to read sentence. I get that, man. You can't overly do something. You gotta take breaks. You gotta take pauses. You know, sometimes you gotta like take a little hiatus, come back to it, maybe try to learn some skills and stuff, do other things.
Creation's a process.
Creation is a fucking process, you know. And the only reason I look like I'm good at it is because I've really managed to whittle things down into templates, so it saves me a lot of time. But there's always new things to learn. There really is. And you know, it's okay if you're not ready. Take your time. Learn some stuff. Have a good time. Don't burn yourself out, because then it's not fun. Creation is about fun. And Magic Goddess says, Ren! And so Ren then says, hi. Love that. Possum says, okay, Roger, whatever you say. I mean, it could be Roger the alien from, you know, American Dad. We really don't know. We're just assuming it's Tim, but he could be putting on a voice. We don't know. Wouldn't that be funny? Roger the alien from American Dad was asking questions about UFOs?
Yeah.
Just saying. Just saying. I don't think they went that far, but you know. Let's see. Nick says, yes, they got Tim Sutton to voice a character. It's so fucking cool. You gotta love that. Chaos says, I swore that sounds like Tim and thought I was losing my mind. You know what? I did too at first. I even thought for a moment, I was like, is that Troy? But it was like, no. Jordan was right. I was like, it's Tim. Definitely Tim. Smiley Face says, who this new guy? It's in the title. We've also said Ren's name quite a few times now, Smiley Face. But this is Ren. I'll do a proper introduction for you because you need it. This has been our guide throughout pretty much the entirety of Everyman Hybrid.
Yep. Ren has been in chat for a lot of these, all these streams, in fact.
But for the final stream of Everyman Hybrid, we wanted him on live, so you guys could even ask questions directly to him, because I know we won't be able to answer everything, because we are... Well, I know I am pretty dumb sometimes. Jordan, less so, but, you know, we needed an expert, okay? And so, that's why Ren is here. Jordan's an expert at Marble Hornets. Ren's an expert of Everyman Hybrid. It makes sense. Bring smart people on. Magic even says he's Ren. Excellent. We're all in the same place. Nick says, you said everybody always asks, what is Everyman Hybrid? But they never ask, how is Everyman Hybrid? Which is why I said, I hope Everyman Hybrid is doing good.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I feel you. Why is Everyman Hybrid?
How?
These questions will never be answered, though, will they?
When is Everyman Hybrid?
No.
When is Everyman Hybrid? It's whenever you put it on. Magic Goddess says, Lamau, I want to make sure I get that on camera. I'm dead. Did Jordan shave his beard? Asks Smiley Face.
No, it's just invisible. Yes. Yes, I did.
The green screen is so powerful, it can shave a beard for you.
Yes, I got it shaved because it's too hot now. And I just... And also, every several months, I'll shave the beard. So I do... I like having a beard, but I don't want it to get too long.
Yeah.
But I'm tolerant of it getting longer than most people will be tolerant of.
Yeah. Not quite ready for a wizard status. I know what you mean. Chaos says, I meant advertising sub-sale on the end of talking about an incident. Yeah, right? It was like, that was so fucking random. But you know what? I suppose it's like a sponsor thing, isn't it? They have to put their thing somewhere, don't they? So, yeah, they probably would have done that even in like the 80s and stuff. I wouldn't have been surprised. Magic Goddess says, he's Himothy. Nice, I like that. Himothy, that's great. Ellie says, I have pizza ordered, but it says it'll be like 50 minutes, an hour. Fucking hell, that sucks, Ellie. God, yeah. Well, you have to tell us what pizza, though. That's the key question. Smiley says, you like murdering lots of pizza, like what I said last stream. Is that a crime? I
don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So, come back to us when it's a crime. Nick says, root beer is my favorite. I feel that. Root beer damn good. Magic Goddess even says, root beer, yeah. Smiley Face says, horizontal output transistor. Smiley, sometimes I worry about you. Not like a lot, but just when I read some of these messages. I'm not going to do anything about it, but just letting you know, I do worry about you sometimes. Chaos says, all you gentlemen's drinks sound good. I think so too. We have good taste. Nick says, A&W and Mug are my conjoint favorite. I don't like Barks as much. That's fair. That's fair. Nothing wrong. I mean, there's a lot of good root beer, you know, and we all have little personal tastes and stuff. I feel it. I totally feel it. Magic says, yay, Ren. Nick then says, when is Everyman Hybrid? March 21st, 2010 to January 1st, 2019. You know what? That's a good answer.
So true.
Good answer, and it's true. Ren confirms. I love that. Magic says, yes, this heat is crazy. Yeah. He is crazy. And then Ellie says, the pizza has changed to 15 minutes now. It's barbecue, chicken, and mushroom. Fuck yeah. I mean, I'm just a sucker for chicken and mushroom anyway, but barbecue, chicken, and mushroom? That's good shit. That's real good shit. Oh, we caught up. Cool. We've caught up. Okay. And then Smiley is now listing computer parts. It's fine. Right, so we will talk to you again next time we pause. It might be in like 20 minutes or so, but we have to carry on.
We've got to crack on.
We got to get this done today, all right? I am not having another stream. We're still in take 3. This is, I suppose you say, chapter 4, Picking Flowers.
I had another dream last night. It was so weird. That man was there again. And it was almost like he led me out of the house, and there's like a patch of woods. Not very big. It's not something you get lost in, so it wasn't like a creepy, like, ooh, lost in the woods thing. But I went back in the woods because of him. And I picked a flower, just stood there and looked at it for a minute. And then I woke up, but the weird thing was, I woke up and went to go put on my shoes and go get coffee, and there was mud all over my shoes.
Oh, yeah?
And I looked over to the table, and there was a flower. Exactly like the one in my dream.
Habit.
I don't think I can tell anybody about this sleepwalking and this recurring dream. So I'm just gonna tell this recorder. I wake up feeling so strange, like I have somebody else's knowledge. I'm gonna try and catch a few more hours of sleep. Hey, Roger.
Hey, Vin, how you doing?
Good. You know, I've lived in this town for a while, but I've never actually stepped foot on the campus.
Well, I mean, why, if you didn't have any reason to, why would you? It's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna pay a visit to the college campus just to spend an afternoon.
Does it ever bother you that this is like a medieval castle?
I kind of like it, honestly. You know, it's a good aesthetic. So yeah, do you wanna step in here real quick to?
Yeah, sure.
Said you had something to talk about.
Yeah, let me take a seat here. So should I just spill my story and you can kind of pick apart what makes sense and what doesn't?
Go for it. I can keep up. Trust me.
All right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to skip the part about the lights because I already told you about the lights the other day. But before that, so maybe a month or two before the lights. Okay. So the whole reason that I was even thinking about looking into the lights was because same road, different night.
Okay.
I'm driving home from one of my meetings, and
meetings?
Yeah, I don't. We'll get into that later, but
Fair enough.
I have like
I
a weekly
understand.
meeting. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate
Weekly
it.
meetings, the club. You may not necessarily want to talk to the details. I get it. I get it.
it's
Go
there.
ahead.
Awesome. Okay. So it happens every Tuesday. So I know it was a Tuesday.
Okay.
Both nights were a Tuesday. I'm driving home. Look out my driver's side window, and I see an animal, and I'm like, oh, okay. I kind of look back, eyes on the road sort of situation, and I look back again, and it's still there. And I'm going 45 miles an hour, and this thing is keeping up on the side of the road, like matching my speed, not braking forward, not slowing down, right next to my car.
Okay.
And I'm kind of like freaking out because, first of all, fast animals are scary to begin with because I don't want it anywhere near me. But it looked like a naked dog, like a dog that someone shaved all the fur off of and then starved.
Vivid.
Yeah, I just can't get that image out of my mind between that and the lights.
I mean,
Does that sound like anything to you?
dogs can't run that fast, but horses can, obviously, and maybe I mean, honestly, it kind of sounds. Are you familiar with the Jersey Devil at all? Or the
Not.
Leeds Devil?
Really? No, definitely not the Leeds Devil. I've heard of the Jersey Devil, but I don't know much about it.
All right. Well, it's honestly, that's kind of odd that it's that far north, because usually all the stories that I've heard, it's a little bit further south from where you're talking about.
South, like Alabama, Florida, Texas.
Yeah, sure. The Jersey, Alabama Devil. No. It's like in Pine Barrens or that kind of area. It's so according to the stories that have been passed down, it looks kind of like you said, kind of starved and hairless. Did the thing that you saw have hooves? Because most of the people that say they saw the Jersey Devil say it might have had some kind of hooves or something like that.
It might have, but it was going so fast, and I mean, it was kind of low to the ground.
Okay, so let me.
So if it did, I don't know.
I'm trying to remember because I'm not the one that's been covering the Jersey Devil in our zine, so I'm trying to remember. I believe it is. So main characteristics. It has hooves, obviously, like I said, like a horse.
Yeah.
Same with its head. It's either a horse or maybe a goat, depending on who you ask. Wings, hairless, like you said.
Wait. Wings?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this thing definitely didn't have wings.
Well, it can tuck them in to its, to the side of its body, kind of like, like an ostrich or something. It's got wings, but it can hold them in real close and sort of run along the ground, like I said. And plus, you'd be surprised how many people say that they've seen, someone or something like keeping pace with their car, like maybe if it's late at night or something, running alongside. A lot of the stories say that it's a person, but sometimes it's some other kind of creature type thing. But it's kind of sounds
linked to the Jersey Devil, or
not necessarily, but this particular one kind of sounds like the Jersey Devil to me, just from what you've said.
Okay. All right, so if we wanted to find out more about the Jersey Devil, since you said you're not the expert on it, who do you think we could talk to?
Well, so down in the Pine Barrens, there's still a bunch of old villages down there because those colonial era villages that still manage to survive by one way or another, and kind of like Salem, I guess. So there's people down there, since that's where the stories kind of originate. So they've got sort of like historical societies and people that are really into preserving the legends of that kind of thing, and they've got like like park tours and speakers and all that kind of stuff. So we might be able to ask somebody down there if you want to make a little road trip.
You know what? Yeah, so they have people down there who are going to, know about this stuff, who are going to know, not just about, the history. They're going to be able to talk about the Jersey Devil. And give us...
That's where the stories come from, so I would imagine they would know better than anybody else.
Okay, yeah. Do you know how to get there?
I certainly do. If you want to, we may want to partner up for a little trip, perhaps.
Sure.
I can.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So let's plan this out this weekend.
Sure, absolutely. I've been wanting to go down there for a while to maybe include another feature. So this would be a good time to kill two birds with one stone or whatever.
Perfect. Oh, nice. Okay, yes. So I will call you. I'm going to go home and see what I have to get done before this weekend, but let's do it.
Love it. Love it.
Awesome. All right, I will get back to you again. I'm just going to keep calling the same number you gave me, right?
Perfect. I'll be around.
You good there?
I will be around.
All right. Catch you soon.
All right.
Hear ye, hear ye. Hear ye, hear ye. Hear ye, hear ye. I'm going to be honest, this place kind of sucked.
No. That's South Jersey for you.
But, wait. So South Jersey is a guy in a wig ringing a bell outside of an old mill with no historical help at all?
Depends where you go, I guess.
I guess. Oh my God. All right, so I guess we'll head back, and we can figure out what's going on at your HQ from there. I don't know.
How about this? Just so we don't completely waste this day, do you know where Stockton College is? It's not too far from here.
Sorta, yeah.
I know they're doing an open house, and I kind of want to see, because they've got a paranormal society too, and I kind of want to see how theirs stacks up to ours. So we could swing by over there, just so our day isn't a total wash. You know what I mean?
Scouting out the competition. Yeah, you know what? We might as well. And who knows? Maybe they'll have some answers. Maybe they'll have some leads.
Worth a shot. Worth a shot.
Let's do it. Sure. All right. Hey, Roger. Do you know what Lucy the elephant is? Because there was just a big-ass sign that said, "Come see Lucy the elephant."
If you thought what you saw before was touristy bullshit, it's more of the same. It's been around forever. I mean, it's just a building. It's just more goofy touristy shit. If we can check that out too, if you want to, they might have something.
You know what? Not to offend Lucy, but I think I'm good.
All right.
So let's head on down to
You're
Stockton.
totally
I
sure.
think I'm gay. All
Lucy
right.
can wait. Yeah. I'm pretty good. Pretty
All
good,
right.
actually.
And welcome to Stockton. Okay, so this is a little bit more, bustling.
I'd have to pause it. Hey, Smiley. I do see this. I do keep an eye on chat. People are asking you to stop spamming, buddy. This is the only warning I'm going to give you. Because I can take action. So,
Yeah, let's try to keep this a nice environment for everybody to watch.
just letting you know, I am watching you. And I can time out. I can even ban. So
And then I was expecting, how?
don't make me use my powers. Back to it.
Hold on, you, give me a second. If you'll wait over here, sorry, hold on. Yeah, thank you. If you want to wait here for maybe about like 20 minutes, I'll meet you right back here, okay? I'll be right back. Hey, can I get one of those brochures really quick? Yeah.
Are you fucking believable. Unbelievable.
Brought him to
All right,
Stockton.
I
This
guess I'll
left him
just
here.
walk around this strange fucking campus then. Jesus. I don't even know what Roger's worried about. This place isn't even that nice. It's definitely not Princeton. Alright, what do we got here? Yeah, hi, how are you? I definitely go to college. Wait a minute. What the hell is that? Hey, excuse me?
Hmm?
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Who's that?
Oh, this? It's a mural. We were hoping to bring awareness to these missing people.
Really?
Oh.
Is there any way you figure out who it is and then, like, let me know, give me a call, something?
I don't know. The editor of the true crime section of the paper picks the photos, and then we post them.
All right, here, look, let me get one of those. Do you have a pen?
Yeah, here.
Thanks. I'm gonna write down the number. I'm actually with I'm working with the Paranormal Society over at Princeton.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you my editor's number. If you could just have your editor call mine. Please, it's really important.
All right, sure thing.
Yeah, except they're
Okay.
editors.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Here's my,
Yeah, this
here's
is
my
what
number.
editors
Just give us
do.
a call,
They
okay?
call other
All right.
people.
Okay.
Yeah, no, sure. Yeah,
Have
I'm sorry
a good
for scaring
day.
you.
Yeah, you're fine.
Leave the recorder with her. He got quieter, and she stayed the
Yeah,
same
that was
volume.
weird, right?
Went to that club, the paranormal club I was telling you about. There, nothing special really. Although I did get a pretty fantastic little EMF detector here. Looks kind of just like a turkey thermometer, though. I don't know if they. Vinny, are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Huh. We saw the
dreams about
missing children thing,
Yeah.
which was also
a tower that's
him.
close by. I've seen it. It's by a pond or a lake or. Every time I dream about that fucking place, I wake up with a headache. I don't know. I feel like it might be important, so. Here we are.
It is Eden.
Hey, Vinny, it's
Hi, I'm
Roger.
Aiden. Hi.
I don't know whenever you're gonna get this, but so I'm getting a lot of reports of some more of lights, like you were talking about, over in Lambertville, over the hills. So I wanted you to come because you're, out of all of us, you're the only person in our circle who hasn't actually seen them firsthand, and so I kind of feel bad after our last little adventure didn't quite turn out the way we hoped it would. So I really want you to see this. So it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be good for you. So just meet me. Let me think. Meet me at the abandoned high school at 10 p.m. We should get a good view of it there. So
Yeah, the abandoned high
either
school.
give me a call
Yeah, the only one.
or just meet me. Either one. I'll be there regardless. Okay. Hope you get this. Bye. Vinny,
Vinny!
come here.
Hey, what?
Come on.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hey,
All right, where's your stuff? Do we have to bring it up the hill, or how are we doing this?
I
Isn't it a
bring
drug
anything. Was I
trade? What the
supposed
fuck?
to?
Excuse me? How are we supposed to capture this and prove it's real if we don't have anything to record?
Listen. In my experience, the recording equipment isn't worth shit because, even if you show somebody, they're going to be like, oh, well, you could have easily faked it with this way. You could have edited the footage and this and such and such. Forget it.
Oh, but we're not even going to try. We're going to risk getting arrested for an experience? Roger.
These things happen all the time. I feel like you should focus less on the evidence gathering part and just soak it in,
All right, fine. But what is the plan?
Okay, well, so step number 1, get out of the open because we're kind of exposed right now. Step number 2, that school building up there. We're going to go up to the top floor, or what's left of it anyway, and that should be a perfect vantage point for us to look out and see whatever it is we might see or hoping to see. Sound good?
It doesn't sound safe at all.
These things tend not to be.
Okay, fine, let's go.
Okay, so the
Isn't this
spot
a
we're
plot
at
of
right now, they
Thunderdome?
call this Music Mountain. The school's up there at the top, if you can see it right up there.
Yeah. All right, but shouldn't we be going there? Like, you can tell me about this once we're up there.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I'm just giving you a little introduction is all.
Okay, let's go. Come on.
Gonna want to stay low, by the way, because we are technically trespassing right now.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you, give me the audio tour later.
All right, sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, I think that's the football field right over there. That must have been where Buckeye died, I think.
I don't care. We have to get inside.
All right, sorry, jeez.
Don't care. The fuck?
Whoa, fuck, what was that? What was that?
What?
That, look.
I don't see anything. What is it?
Get down.
Jesus. Look, there's nobody, no one ever actually patrols out here. No one's gonna see us.
Okay, all right. I think it was just a passing car anyway, so.
All right.
Okay.
Gonna give me a heart attack. Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
You like the
I
dynamic
don't
of these
often
two.
break into places, okay?
I like their little random adventure.
You get used to it after a while.
Yeah, clearly. Oh, fuck. Watch your step.
All right. Thanks, almost missed that.
No problem. We should bring 2 flashlights next time, I think, instead of sharing the one. What the hell, Roger? There's so much light pollution.
Hey, relax, will you? We're gonna be up here for another couple hours at least. Look at you, you're still all wound up. We just spent the week hunting the Jersey Devil. Consider this a working vacation. You need it.
All right, fine. Should we look up this way? Is like that where we're going? Are we going over here? The collapsed side? The not collapsed side? Well, I don't know.
I'd stick to the part that has a floor for now.
Fantastic.
That's just me, though.
All right. It is pretty cool up here.
Have you never been up here before? It's kind of used to be a local haunt when I was younger. I don't know if people still come out here.
No.
It's supposed to be haunted.
Get a 5-minute timeout, Smiley.
Like any abandoned place usually is.
Yeah, sure, right? Everybody has a ghost story in one abandoned place or another. Huh. So, Roger, you think we're actually going to see anything up here?
Well, I don't know for sure. Never do, though, really. It's always kind of a roll of the dice, you know what I mean? It's just kind of just for the, the thrill of it, though, or the process of it, I guess. It's almost like meditation. It's like, think like fishing, If you're only focusing on catching the damn fish, then you're going to drive yourself nuts, You just sit back, you take a deep breath, you look out just past the river or the lake or wherever you are, and you just kind of soak in the moment. Lenny swears you can hear the river from up here, but I don't know. I can't. I think she's kind of nutty. But it seems like it makes her happy.
Whoa, wait. Lenny?
Yeah, Lenny, our assistant editor at the zine. She comes out here all the time. She's kind of the, I don't know, resident stargazer, I guess you could say. I mean, hell, last week's batch of the zine was almost delayed because she missed our time slot over in the dark room, and we couldn't develop any pictures because then she was out taking a long exposure of the full moon up at her parents' place.
Hey, whoa. Roger.
Is that what the kids call it these days?
I didn't ask what Lenny was in relation to the zine. You always talk as if the zine is like the center point. I asked who she was. Who is Lenny?
Oh.
Why would he know that? Just a person.
How am I gonna put this?
You weren't supposed to ask that question,
Have
Vinny.
you ever been to a place that should just be perfectly normal, average, nothing out of the ordinary, and yet somehow it feels wrong? It feels off. You feel the hair standing up on the back of your neck, and your kind of your fight or flight response starts to kick in. Well,
Yeah, I've been to high school.
those are kind of her specialty. She calls them blind spots, and it's sort of, I don't know. She says there's some sort of they're kind of a link in between, kind of where maybe the separation between the natural and the supernatural maybe isn't quite so distinct.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what she's devoted herself to investigating. And it's fascinating stuff. I don't entirely understand it myself, but the works that she has showed me is it's something else.
Wait. So blind spots. So this is a blind spot? She thinks that this is...
She thinks so, yes.
One of those places?
One of many. Don't get me wrong, but yes, I think that's why she's come up here all the time. She feels that there's got to be, something here.
So what makes this place so special?
I don't know. I really don't know. That's kind of what I'm hoping we'll find out tonight. Possibly.
Well, if you trust Lenny, then I trust Lenny. I don't feel any hair standing up anywhere, but... Well, wait. Hey, Roger, top left.
What?
North Star.
Holy shit.
Is that what you saw last week? Is that it?
That is exactly what I saw. Can you believe this?
I've been wanting to see one of these for so long.
That is it. That's it. Jesus Christ. Fuck. It is 3:13 a.m. I don't know the date. I had a dream about the tower again. This time I got close. As I got closer, everything sort of started to vibrate, and I reached for the door, and it was big and heavy and cold, and I pulled, and there was nothing. There was nothing inside. It was stark white walls. The only thing in there at all was a telephone, and like one of those, I guess it would be a telephone table, like the little tiny circular table that's just big enough for a rotary phone. It just feels so weird. Feels real. But I guess out of all the things to feel real, a telephone in a room is on the lower end of the horror scale, so that's good, I guess.
this is Roger.
Hey, Roger. Winnie.
Oh, hey.
We just got a call from the Stockton Creek crew.
Are they...
I didn't know if we had any contact with them, but they're calling about this missing person case. Do you know anything about this?
Oh, yeah, I'm working on a story, with them.
Well, I don't know. They're saying something about a missing boy family.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. This is the first I've heard of it, but
Yeah. Sorry, I must have spaced on that. Yeah, just be sure you got their contact info down and everything, and then I will give them a call whenever I'm get back in town, okay?
all right.
All right, bye.
So, story, huh? What about?
Yeah. So you talking about all that missing person stuff a while back? It got me really interested in this story about the mining town 4. Are you familiar with a little town in Pennsylvania called Centralia?
Yes, that's the one with the coal fire.
Yeah,
right?
So like in the early '60s, it was this little mining town, and they were burying their trash in some kind of underground, I don't know what vein or whatever. And I guess some genius on their city council was like, hey, we need to get rid of this trash. Let's set it on fire. But then, whoops-a-daisy, it was right next to a underground coal vein, and it's still burning to this day.
Holy shit. So what happened to the town that the coal mine was on?
Well, that's what I'm looking into, because see, the thing about it is that an inordinate amount of just bad stuff has been happening in this town ever since. I mean, more so than you would expect just from a coal fire in your town. There was this fucked up preacher who preyed on this kid for several years. Tons of suicides, homicides, you name it. And it's rare for anyone to get out of this town alive for some reason, and I'm trying to find out what that reason is.
Wow.
My theory is that there's something else underground, besides the coal, besides the trash. That there's the trash is probably long gone by now. There's been plenty of instances of mass hysteria recorded throughout history, be it, the lysergic acid fungus growing on the wheat and then they bake it into the bread and the whole town goes nuts, or there's the what was the thing where the whole town was seized by dancing for 3 days, but for the whole town to just be killing each other or themselves. There's the famous story. Are you much of a history buff, first of all?
Not at all.
So
no.
back in ancient Greece, there was the oracle in the city of Delphi, and so she was said to have some sort of divine contact with the gods and was able to read the future and read fortunes and whatnot. And so generals and politicians would travel from miles and miles around to the city and pay exorbitant amounts of money to be should I go to war with these people, or should we pass this law or that law and whatnot. And it was theorized that historians later on have theorized that maybe there's the source of her visions was some kind of gas seeping out from like a fault line or something underground and causing her to hallucinate. And I think there might be something like that going on here. Regardless of what it is, I'm trying to figure out what it is.
So, for this article, you're gonna, go talk to the survivors who escaped this town?
Well, I'm gonna try to.
Roger, that's kind of fucked up.
No? That's kind of the nature of the field.
It's not really that fucked up. Yeah, tell their
God.
story.
And what are you naming this
It's only
piece?
fucked up if they don't want to and you insist.
I'm just thinking something subtle, like the
Mhm.
land of ashen waste.
Land of
Does that sound
Ashen
okay?
Waste.
Yeah, real tactful. So I sorry, I gotta figure out how I'm even gonna say this. I had another one of those dreams, one of those fucking lifelike. Except it wasn't a dream. I don't think they've ever been dreams. I dreamt that I was somewhere. I think I got in through a window. And I grabbed a bunch of papers and I ran. And I ran all the way home, and I know it was barefoot. And I know that because it was squishy and wet. It just rained. And as my foot hit the earth and I sunk to my ankle in mud, I woke up. And I looked down, and there it is, my left foot covered in mud, my right foot covered in grass. So I get up, start looking around, and there is a trail, a fucking trail from my doorway to my bed. I don't know if it's sleepwalking, but anyway, I check out this envelope or this folder, little bifold, and it's got fucking documents, stories, halves of stories, proofs, proof of the cover for, what is this, issue 50 of Roger's fucking zine. And what is on the back? Fucking Roger. Story about Vin. I think this thing that I see in my dreams, this man, I think he's real. And I think this whole time he's been trying to get me to reach out. I'm not sure why. I don't fucking understand it. And Roger will just take any goddamn story that comes across his fucking desk.
Yeah.
And if this is what that thing wants, why are we giving it to him? I shouldn't even need to say it. I shouldn't need to tell Roger not to touch the story.
You do need to.
Yeah, you do need to.
Communication is key, Vinny.
Roger's doing his fucking job.
Whatever
like,
this
come
thing
on.
wants, whatever this monster wants from me, he's not getting it. And Roger is not getting his fucking story to make me look like an idiot.
Okay.
God damn it! I can't keep holding it together like this. I don't fucking sleep. I don't fucking eat. And the people I trust just fucking exploit it. And yes, so what? Roger's story is tasteful. More tasteful than the other shit that he puts out.
Oh.
You befriended a
I'm not in
journalist.
control.
Paranormal.
Yeah.
I don't think I have
You
been
came
for
to a
long time.
ufologist with a story about a UFO.
And it's
Yeah.
horrifying. And these dreams, I know that they're not dreams. I know that they're fucking not dreams. I've lived them. They're real. It's just a little hazy. And it's somebody else moving my body.
Habit.
Or Thunderman, I think.
Oh, it could be Slenderman. Yeah, because we haven't really met Habit in this version. But, I mean, doesn't mean he's not around.
It's not me, though.
Just doing his thing. Jerking off to himself in, like, a mirror or something.
Yeah.
You know it's true, Ren.
Cannot confirm nor deny.
I'll accept that.
Okay, yeah, okay. So get this. I'm looking through those papers that I guess I took from Roger. And that son of a bitch was investigating that missing kid, the one that I saw from Stockton.
You gave them the number for the what?
Yeah, you said have your
And that
editor
all
call my
somehow
editor.
tied in
The fuck?
to his Ashen Waste story. It just doesn't make sense. There's a home, the Fairmount home for children. It's where the Ashen Waste kids ended up. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't fucking... Both the kids, both the Vinnies, and me, I guess, we look the same. We have the same name. Some of the story that he had written, that Roger had written, maybe it's nothing. I don't know. I'm getting close to something, though. I can feel it. I can see it in my dreams. The man is not happy. He sure as fuck is letting me know it. I think Fairmount is the key. Or at least the starting point, the guiding force. I don't know, it's something. I'm gonna have to look into this. What the fuck? It is 3:30 in the morning and someone has been calling me for the last 20 minutes.
Hey, Roger, because you stole papers.
And it sounds like they're leaving a message.
Vin? Vin? This is Vin. God, pick up your fucking phone, you goddamn idiot. It's so fucking cold out here. Jesus Christ. There's something I... to talk to you. There's... Like, you already fucking know, man. That tower on Lake, you had dreams about it. Come on, just... pick up your fucking phone, please, man. Please, please, please.
The tower. How the fuck did he know about that? Shit. Okay, alright, okay. The tower. Alright, I'm gonna go tomorrow. Maybe I can figure this shit out.
You see. Oh.
Lucy the elephant.
Yeah, hello?
Hey, Vinny, this is Roger. How you doing? So, a little bit of a snag on my end. I seem to have misplaced the original copy of the true
Good
crime
info, Nick.
article I
Thank
was
you.
going to publish this weekend. So I really need just something just short and sweet, you know. And I was just kind of wondering, do you have any leads or anything like that? I'd love to tag along if you do.
Was that the Ashen Waste one?
Yeah, that one.
Oh shit, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
Look. Yeah. It's kind of big, though, Roger.
All right, even better. Hit me.
I just got off the phone with somebody, and I don't know if we can trust him.
Okay.
Do you remember Lucy the elephant? Saw it on the way back from Stockton.
Yes, I remember Lucy. We got the legend of the haunted elephant's ass or something.
Yeah. That's the one. He said to meet him there.
Oh,
you know what?
Oh.
It's probably not that big of a deal. I think I'm just blowing it out of proportion here. But do you want to meet up? Let's say 5. We'll meet there.
Yeah, sure. All right.
Okay. Great. Look, Roger, I gotta go. I gotta take care of some stuff. But I'll see you today.
Okay. Yeah, that could be. All right.
I made it to the lake. It feels just like those dreams. Like the earth is vibrating and the air is vibrating against it. Alright, here I go. The door is red and heavy. It's different than my dream. The table's there, and the phone, but there's also another table to my left. The table has a clock with broken hands. And something else. Hello?
Hi, is this, Vinny?
Hi, Dark Fruit.
Hey, bud. No, you don't have to say anything. I know it's you. I just wanted to have a chat with you real quick. Because I've seen what you've been doing, and I'm liking it. I'm liking the motivation and everything like that, but...
Vinny, this is the Cinder Man. There's a reason I don't talk.
Look, Ben, I guess I'm kind of past playing games. You're looking for safety. You're looking for Ben, a man, and you're looking for monsters, man. And they're watching you. And I know you're looking for a way out. And there's gonna be a whole bunch of people that suggest you fucking blow your brains out, or you build some sort of fucking weapon, but you gotta trust me, I've been here for a long, long time. I do what you guys do, but I remember every single fucking time. And every route leads to the same fucking end, and there's no way out. You're not even a part of a game of chess. You're just a fucking route in a game of Settlers of Catan or some shit. I don't know, man. You're a cog in the machine or whatever. And they like
Make up
you
your
for
mind.
some reason. The other one told you he said you had a sister, right? I had a brother too. Beat on Ben. Another you did. In another time. He has, he will have siblings. He will eventually. But you're gonna fuck up every single time and they're gonna die. And every time, you just have to figure out how to not take it personally. You're unwilling in this, but you're a piece of the machine. I guess it's to your benefit that you're good at it, though.
I don't think he is.
Maybe you'll realize that before this one ends. get jealous of you. It frustrates the fuck out of me. I can remember everything, and I don't get this kind of treatment, but you're smarter than you give yourself credit for.
Is he?
You miss your friends, yeah. I don't really need a response, I guess. Rude. I think we both know you'll see them soon, then. But that's why you're caught in this fucking shitstorm. You and them. He likes you. Because you're different than the usual bodies. You're not like me. See, my whole fucking thing is, I know they get stronger the more that we spread the knowledge of their existence. It's a fucking virus loop, man. It feeds them. It's more toys in their fucking toy box. Every soul you touch, every friend, family member, lover, and stranger that you interact with, willing or not, you rope them fucking into this. They're all part of this, and they're all trying... God damn it, man. I guess that is what makes us different. You're efficient. I mean, it's probably too good for your own safety, honestly. The squeaky wheel gets the grease to an absurd extent, I guess.
How many times is he going to make the metaphor?
You will see them again, though. They'll be different, you'll be different. You won't remember. You're all just fuel cells and fucking... I don't know. Do you need any more fucking analogies? I don't think you do at this point. It sounds
Okay.
patronizing. Maybe you're a mechanic. No, you're not a mechanic. Jesus Christ. I don't know. Man, you're something. You're something, and they like you. But they'll always change the game up and evolve.
Do they?
Because they will always be ahead of you. And because the end result, their spoils, it's always the same. I guess that's all I can give you, really. There's someone else who's kind of doing some similar shit to you. You're both gonna lose, but... Fuck, man. I would be lying if I said I didn't admire you trying. The one who's going to break the machine, I guess. He's beginning to understand it. But... You know... After every cycle, it shifts a little bit at the end. You win a little bit more every time. So it's gonna take endless cycles, man. But maybe eventually you and I will be done with this. Or slow it down. Maybe we'll undo this. Actually, the one who probably will used to be your dad. Who
We get
was
it,
also
yeah.
another you
Thanks for
in
making it
another
explicit.
time, I guess, James Corenthal. I'm pretty sure you know that name. He's about done, though. Look, the only reason I even reached out is... I guess to try to push the wheel a little bit further. You're doing well, man, and god damn, you are not gonna make it out of this, and that's a bummer. But you might, eventually. I feel the desperation, and I felt the solidarity, so... Good luck, man. I mean that.
Thanks.
I'll see you around the bend.
Hang up already. Jesus Christ.
Who was that? How? How How did he know exactly how I felt? I knew it. I knew there was something wrong. I knew that the Vincent that Roger had been investigating, the Vincent that we saw at Stockton, it was just too much to be a coincidence. And then the Fairmount home. If this is true, if what this guy is saying, this fucking voice over the wire, means that I'm someone else's pawn.
Gross.
And that the weird dream state, the dreams, the sleepwalking, whatever it is, the man with no face, he is trying to get me to make contact with someone, to make a meaningful connection, to spread, to get power. I guess at least, if nothing else, I stopped Roger from releasing his zine. So I might have stopped the 4 people who read it from getting tangled up in this.
So I'm still gonna do the audio log.
I think I'll make a YouTube channel next time.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Good idea.
That does add significance. That adds significance to the series ending with
I
the
knew there was
camera.
something wrong. Something wrong with me. When I picked up that phone, it was sort of like the haze, like I wasn't in control, and I don't know. I just froze, and it happens when I'm awake now. And I can't let this happen to anybody else. Fuck. There's a table to my left. There's a clock with broken hands. There's also a basket wrapped in cellophane with ribbon. It's a gift basket.
Thank you, Vinny. Anything in the gift basket?
It's filled with pills.
Oh.
I'm not sure what kind. There's a note attached.
To Tim.
Fucking note, Vinny.
It says, "The gift of knowledge is one that he'll want to take back. Do us all a favor." I guess he's right. It's the only way that I can protect other people.
Is by stopping the
only
audio
way that I can
logs.
protect myself.
Except then he doesn't.
I guess I'm signing off.
Then you should destroy the audio logs. Don't even send them to your grandma.
Or that lawyer of Cornfalls.
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, the grandma didn't get them, did she? Oh, God, no. We've seen this.
Yeah.
We've seen this. We don't need to see that again.
We've still got like a 5-minute one left, haven't we? House Phone 2005.
So, yes. House Phone 2005 transcripts.
We don't need the transcript. We just need
But it's
Hi, you've reached James and Marianne Cornfall. We are not available to take your call because we are out having fun. So please leave a message and we'll call you back. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.
subtitles. Listen.
James, it's Adam.
That's why I put the transcript in there. This one's kind of rough.
It's very appreciated. But, listen, you have to do a better job of keeping in touch. I spoke with Marianne. She laughed and told me that finally broke you down and that you'd carry the cell phone we got you. Now just use the damn thing and we won't have to be playing this ongoing game of phone tag. Hey, anyway, I hear we have a lunch date with Elizabeth in Lambertville next month. Think you'll keep the date?
Doctor, we still hear the sirens and we had to leave the area. We managed to cross the pedestrian bridge before the barricades went up, but police have River Road completely cut off and fire trucks are blocking the bridge.
Is there a transcript? Because you're right. This is rough.
I feel like that first person called him on a fucking walkie-talkie.
It's really bad.
Maybe. I'm sure I want to leave YouTube. Yes, show me the thing. Oh.
That's just the audio.
Damn it. That's not what I want. Is it at the end of the timeline, maybe? We will find it. Or we will never know what was on the phone call's instruction. No, it stops at introduction.
Click on box number 7.
Oh, wait.
Click on the...
Signing off. Box 7.
Was
it part of box 7?
Yeah, because it was one of the... I'm pretty sure.
It's the other...
Yeah.
Included in the...
There's an article for it with a transcript on it.
Ah, sweet.
Yeah, I think we can just read this. I feel like it's almost appropriate that we end Everyman Hybrid by reading something.
Story.
Okay.
So how do we want to do this?
Well, let's see. So there's James, there's Adam, woman, William, Elizabeth. So it's like
few.
everybody calls this. Oh, there's actually not that much. Okay. Well, my question is, do you want to be Elizabeth Habit?
I don't mind.
I just figured you love Habit so much. So, in which case, I'll have you be James.
Okay.
I'll be people who are not James, and then if you want to jump in as anybody else, that's fine too.
I think like keeping me as Cornthal is fine because he's got the most lines anyway. So.
All right, go for it.
I might go to my first Cornthal voice
Yeah,
if I can remember it.
You can change every time if you want. I don't care.
If I can remember it. Hi, you've reached James and Marianne Cornthal. We are not available to take your call because we are out having fun. So please leave a message and we'll call you back. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye. Beep!
Oh, God. Well, that was really good. James, it's Adam. Wanted to thank you for yet another gift. It's very appreciated. But listen, you have to do a better job of keeping in touch. I spoke with Marianne. She laughed and told me that she finally broke you down and that you carried the cell phone we got you. Now just use the damn thing and we won't have to be playing this ongoing game of phone tag. Hey, anyway, I hear we have a lunch date with Elizabeth in Lambertville next month. Think you'll get the date? Beep! Ren, do you want to do one?
Sure.
It's a woman's voice, anxious and disjointed.
Doctor, we smelled the fires and we had to leave the area. The management made it across the pedestrian bridge before the barricades went up. The police had River Road off, completely cut off, and the fire trucks are blocking the bridge. We tried your cell after we realized something was wrong, but, well, we know how successful that endeavor was. I was wondering if you could make contact with your wife. Anyway, Adam and I are safe, but we're horrendously worried for you. Please be safe and contact us as soon as possible. Adam is on the edge and telling me we need to get further away and is saying something about a protocol. Please call me if you get the chance. Beep!
Too many answer machines, I'm confused. William, James, it's William. I just got a call. What the fuck? Call me, please. Beep. Elizabeth Habit.
Sirens play in the background.
That's great. That's great. Sorry. Okay,
because I'm the background.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. You're the background. Hey, Doc. Missed you at the diner, but you sure as hell didn't miss me. Wah! Well done. I gotta say, you've been a lot of fun. Oh, that's awkward. And I mean that. But well, you know what they say. All good things must come to an end. I'll see you at the park, champ. Oh, and Marianne, be a doll and leave the lights on for me.
So Elizabeth became Habit. That's that.
And the medium lady, right?
Yeah, the medium. Yeah.
Yep. Psychic.
Beep. Oh, here's big monologue for Jordan. Let's go.
Yeah. Marianne, it's me. I just saw her son.
Which
I
one?
saw Evan.
Oh.
I was meeting with Elizabeth in Lambertville. She'd been in contact with Robert. We were all gonna meet at the diner, get a handle on the situation. We could learn so much. With their work with missing children, Robert's expertise, and our whole situation. Anyway, we thought that the diner would be the best place to go. We'd be in public. It would be safe. Wrong. Wrong, goddammit. I made the wrong decision. Before we got there, I was sitting on a bench, and a young man, he approached me. He sat. I fucking leapt out of my skin, babe. It was him. It was our son. He was all grown up. He told me that this would be all over sewn up soon enough. Sentence. I was so fucking scared when I saw that. I didn't, at first. I was angry too. I've missed him so. I need to know what happened. I almost started screaming. I was demanding an explanation. But before I could even turn to fully look at him, he was gone, evaporated, like into thin air. He sighs. When I got to the diner, I got a call from Elizabeth. Wait, fuck, what is it? Okay, I'll go more normal voice. Okay, wait. So anyway, I got to the diner, and I get a call from Elizabeth. And I heard that telltale bullshit static that we've heard on the phone before. You know what I'm talking about? I could barely understood her. I think I was hearing her tell me that this was a setup. And the diner that they went to, that they were at a different diner, that apparently I'd been given the slip or something. I don't know what the fuck she was saying. Anyway, I was wrong. I was in the wrong place. After I hung up, I looked around, and everyone in this goddamn diner was looking at me. It was spooky. I gotta tell you, their eyes, man. They weren't even blank, they were just full of hate. 3 men closest to me threw down their forks, and they just started coming at me. Alright, and then the whole diner erupted into this. Fuck! She's coming after me, so I started taking off. I had my gun. I'm sorry, Maria, and please forgive me that I was shooting people. I saw them. They're dying. They're dead. There's a lot of them dead, but didn't even stop them. There's more coming. I don't even know where the hell they came out of. It's like it was out of the fucking woodwork, man. Anyway, I ran into the kitchen. There was a bunch of cooks. Everyone in the kitchen was coming after me. The plate washer, the cook, everybody was coming after me. I saw one girl go. Her arm went into the deep fryer. She didn't even react. She didn't cry. She wasn't in a shock of pain. She just started laughing, this horrible, freakish laugh. It chilled me to my bone, I gotta tell you. I snaked through the building as fast as I could, but I couldn't find a way to get out. There was smoke. It was building. Bodies were piling up. They were hurting each other, and I was still shooting at them. I could tell that the noise and the commotion sped to the street. Either more of these people were joining the mob, or there were just people walking by wondering what was going on. But everybody was getting hurt. It seemed to me that everybody was coming after me. Anyway, I backed myself into a bathroom, and I thought about that wicked boy on the park bench. It said, "This will all be over soon." A small painting of a willow tree hung on the wall. It was crooked. I remember that made me think back to when all this had started, when we were still in Ohio, when happiness was still a thought, a goal. You, me, our family. Something that was within reach. It was tangible. We could touch it. It was happiness. It was joy. Babe, I'm so damn sorry. We never got that. Anyway, I got my way out of the restroom and took off. I heard the emergency response sounding, but I knew they wouldn't be exactly sympathetic. I tried to stay low. I kept moving. I stumbled through the woods and across the river road. I can hear the sirens. They're getting more distant, but I know they're going to find me soon. So I'm at the bottom of the hill, with one long path ahead. I see a tree just like the one in the painting. This is it. He knew it would end up like this. I probably should have also, maybe a long time ago, had I been thinking clearly. I know now that I'm being watched by him, Ariane. At this point, I know that goddamn specter, that fucking monster that took our children, and that I've hunted for all these years, he's watching me too. I can feel him. The air is so thick, I can cut it with a knife or shoot it with a gun. Everything has been leading to this point right now. It's do or die. You know what I have to do. I'm going to the tree at the top of the hill. I hope you receive this message. Know that I love you, babe. I always have, and I always will. I hope you'll forgive me for dragging us into this mess, into this lifestyle. You know, I've only ever wanted to help. I'd love to believe that I succeeded. Maybe history can avenge me? Maybe it can tell our story? Maybe it'll help erase the monster the authorities paint me as? No matter. You know what you have to do. Follow our protocol. Disappear. Then you know what you need to do if it doesn't work. I love you. Maybe I'll see you again. I sure as hell hope I do. I love Love you, babe. Bye.
I love you, Cal. Beep. I love you, babe.
Ends.
That's it. Well, interesting. Let me just back onto the thing.
All right, so that was
2 people in chat. There we go. Fantastic. That's so much cozier. So as Nick also excellently points out in that one, remember the article from way back following the 1 step forward, 2 steps back video about Dr. Corenthal supposedly, allegedly massacring a restaurant. Now we have the full context.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
It was Habit mass possessing the restaurant to fight Corenthal. Surprise! Yes. Yes, it was.
So Habit can just do that.
Yeah, well, we learned that through even Tumblr posts. The Habit could just, I think he possessed like an entire SWAT team at one point as well, like things like that. He just seems to have freedom of just possessing people as he seems fit.
And yet he insists on toying with these, like, college kids.
The most, I do agree. Which is why, yet again, obviously, we're going to get into major discussion. So, Ren, I just want to 100% confirm, to your knowledge, we have done everything Everyman Hybrid necessary.
Yep.
That's it then. We finished Everyman Hybrid.
We got it.
Awesome. Tell you what, I'm gonna go have a cigarette.
Okay.
A post Everyman Hybrid cigarette.
Yeah, no worries.
You can talk to.
You've earned it.
You can get the discussion started if you want.
You've definitely earned it.
Absolutely. We'll do a little bit of catch up with chat. I'll open up my last beer. And we're gonna make some sense of things, and then we're gonna jump into questions. I know I've got a little list because it only makes sense.
Good.
Want to be able to have proper discussions and hopefully try to figure some shit out. And well, that's what we're here for. Oh God, let me just lean back a little bit. That's nice. Okie dokie. Let me go back through chat, see if I missed anything crazy important. Yeah, everything's all good. I think I mentioned that. Registering centric colors. Blah, 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 blah. Oop, oh God, no! It closed the chat. Shit! Oh God, where'd it go? Oh no!
Oh no!
Okay,
Disaster.
Okay, I think we're okay. All right, cool. It doesn't look like I can go all the way back, but that's okay. Silent Hill intensifies. It does indeed. Subtle fry bacon. What is this? So you have entered at like the worst timing if you don't know what Everyman Hybrid is, because let me tell you. You will certainly not know what the fuck is going on. But it's Slender Man. There's that. There's a lot more going on, but to put it simply, Slender Man is involved. If you really want to know everything else about it, you really need to go back. But let me tell you, it's a doozy. There's a lot to go into. Nick says, I've been playing Candy Crush this whole time while listening to this. Hey man, you do you. Nothing wrong with that. Especially with audio and stuff like that. Like it's like the best time to catch up on shit, you know? It's a good call. Fried Bacon also says, sounds like a skill issue. Maybe. I don't know if that's to do with Candy Crush or maybe what was going on with the audio tapes. Hard to tell. Little Duck says, so Meatly has a new design. Awesome. Not relevant to Everyman Hybrid, but still, good shit. Good shit. Nick says, second guess, the voice actor. Ah, yes, the one who gave us the massive monologue in the tower in the tower in the lake. Which this is the guy who plays Michael/Patrick from M.L. Anderson. It was his brother Sean who was killed by Habit in EMH, which we did see. I think it was called Three's Company, if I remember right.
Yep.
And then Dark Fruit says, hi. Hi, Dark Fruit. You might not be here anymore, but in case you check this out later, hi. We do try to catch up with chat and have a good little time with everybody, but yet again, that's the problem with like watching long things. It's tricky to break everything up so everybody feels like they're heard. Chaos says, Cognito Hazard. Excellent question. I don't know. Smiley says, your tree background is burning into my screen again. Now that sounds like a skill issue.
Turn your screen brightness down.
Too right, you know. What are you doing, like living on the sun? Nick says, like the ant on the rubber rope, he will reach the end. Also, I think what Michael/Patrick is saying could explain the please stop watching thing, because that is a reoccurring theme. I think it's also reoccurring in even like other Slenderverse videos, if I recall correctly. I know Marble Hornets definitely did it. I'm not 100% sure if the other ones did, but I get the feeling they all kind of emphasize that a little bit. But
yeah, it's very much in the same vein as Marble Hornets. Spread knowledge. Not a good thing. Very bad.
Damn right. Damn right. Smiley Face said, rare Ren laugh. Oh, yes, it is quite rare when Ren laughs, but it's quite good. It's quite funny. Smiley also says, walkie-talkie is like a phone that can only call in a small range. You know what? That is kind of true. That is a fair description of that. And Smiley also says top 10 voice actor. Well, yeah, he did do a good job. We gotta give him that. Abigail also says the laugh. Ha 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 ha. I don't know which laugh we're talking about, but you know what? I'm gonna take credit for all of them. Smiley also says yeah. Awesome. And then Little Duck goes Oh, but then Smiley also says Jordan makes the best beep. Well, you know what? I'll let him know when he comes back. Nick also says, oh, no, we read that one. Have obsessing, yes. Here we go. And yes, the EMH guys did take priority to explain that of all things. Oh, about the massacring in the restaurant thing being habit. I mean, I had a really funny feeling that was probably going to be the case, just because, we've had the Tumblr post explaining what habit can kind of do. So I wasn't surprised that habit inevitably has possessed multiple people to do heinous things, including paint Corenthal as a bad guy. But I'm guessing his original intention was to kill Corenthal, but obviously could never really pull it off. Which then you would think that makes Corenthal the ultimate life form that he'd want to possess, but I guess he just never could. That would be my assumption. Could be wrong. I'm not sure. Maybe he did possess him at one point, but I don't remember that anywhere in the stories. Little Duck also says, hey, Nate, want to see the cool things I made? Sure, buddy. I think you sent it through Discord or something like that. I don't know if you can share it here, so yeah, sounds good. Abigail says, the true stamp of Ren approval. The fact that we got there. It's beautiful. Nick says, Ren, I want to hear your theory on the iteration cycle after. Oh, we're going to get into all kinds of questions. Don't worry. I'm just catching up with chat first, and we're gonna have some real good conversations. I'm excited. Abigail says, I don't know what's going on, but I'm just happy to be here. Abigail, we're happy to have you. We're happy to have you. And we're about to jump into some big discussions and Q&A and stuff like that about Everyman Hybrid. Let's see. Ellie says, is the background a photo I took? It is, Ellie. This is very much one of the photos you took. I just like, put a filter, like a bit of editing on it. That's about it. But even in the description, we should have your Tumblr listed where a lot of your other photography can be seen. Or was it Tumblr? No, it might be something else. I forget. It might be Tumblr. I don't remember. Whichever thing you gave us ages ago. I don't remember. That's where your photos are. Let's see. Nick says, I miss Pixel Chat. I don't know what that is. But I'm sorry you miss it.
Sorry.
And Little Duck says, keep in mind, the one that says he's not done yet, don't watch copyrighted music, the video, if you look at them. Oh, you mean on your thing, right. And Nick says, I did leave a comment last night on your previous reaction part. Awesome. We've officially caught up with chat. So, boys and girls, what the fuck is Everyman Hybrid? There is so much that we could potentially discuss, but I think most importantly, we need to figure out the key things that don't truly make sense. And I know I have some questions. I'm sure Jordan has questions, and I'm sure Ren will do his best to help us not look like complete and utter idiots.
You made a list, didn't you?
I did make a list.
Hold on to those questions. I have to run to the restroom real fast.
No worries, Ren.
I will be.
By the way, Smiley says you make the best beep. Just thought I'd let you know. There was a nice compliment for you.
Yeah. Thank you, Smiley.
Little Duck says, I've been so busy with the show thing, it's turning out really, just taking a break from animation. I believe you said that comment quite a while back, but yes, nothing wrong with that, my friend. Nothing wrong with that at all. Nick says about the iteration cycle and some theories on it proposed by Nightman. Oh, right. Of course. How are you feeling? How are you feeling now that we've officially got to the end?
Glad to be done with it.
Me too.
But
it was a long one.
Yeah. And it didn't really feel like the end of the story. It just felt like more of the story.
It did. It did feel like it was...
Like, this could... Like, I guess, like, they didn't think to make it, or they weren't able to make it until after they did the videos, but I feel like this should have been, like, during the Princeton tapes release. Like, it should have been all this, and then the videos.
It could have honestly stayed in there, and I don't feel like it would have made a massive difference. Like, I suppose it would have helped, perhaps, paint a picture, but it does feel weird that Habit decided to move tape 3 to a different part, and it doesn't massively change stuff. The Tim thing is fun.
Yeah.
The UFO stuff is fun. How relevant is all of it? I don't know yet.
Where did, like, why was there a UFO?
Yeah. But again, we're hopefully going to get some interesting input and insight
Oh.
by our expert Ren, because otherwise, it's just incredible. I mean, yet again, it could have just been Easter egg, side questy, fun shenanigans. It's hard to say, but we might find out. We might find out. Oh, and even Nick says, hang on, sorry. Nick says, I agree. Why wasn't tape 3 with the Princeton tapes? That's an excellent starting point for a question, I would say.
I don't know. I imagine it's just a production thing. They couldn't, because especially since they got 2 guests for this one, so they I imagine they couldn't reliably get it all.
Maybe they didn't have all of it shot at the time they had the original Princeton tape stuff done. Yeah, maybe so they creatively made. I mean, that seems like a decent answer in my opinion. Unless Ren has more insight, why was tape 3 not released at the same time as the regular Princeton tapes? Why was it taken out? Any ideas?
Well, okay, so in Sleeping Dogs Lie, we see Habit piss the fuck off at Vin for doing something to fuck up the formula or whatever. He did something that we don't see. We don't even know what it is, other than him deciding to leave. I don't think that's enough to warrant him being that angry. Okay, so in my opinion, I think Vinny had something to do with releasing the tapes. He got found out about. Habit had to go break into the mail truck, which we saw in Box 7, the news article. Had to break into the mail truck to get the tapes before they were sent out uncensored, because Habit can't have that. He wants the story to be laid out a certain way. It all has to go a certain way. But Vinny was this close to having all the answers revealed immediately, like that quickly.
So I have Habit's claim. I can critique Habit's storytelling abilities.
Yes, you blame it all on Habit. He fucking sucks, but yeah. So I think Habit found out that Vinny had something to do with releasing the tapes too early or uncensored or whatever. Got the tapes, brought it back to him, made him transcribe it while taking tape 3 out so he didn't hear it, and then re-released the rest of the tapes.
Okay.
Because we hear in the first entry on the Princeton tapes, the actual main package, that Princeton Vinny was going to send all the tapes to Davidson. So it wasn't him that took tape 3 out.
Yeah.
It had to have been Habit.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
I suppose my only concern, I mean, I believe your reasoning is good, and I also understand Jordan's idea of it. I think all that absolutely makes a lot of sense. I think the only issue I truly have, besides Habit just being a fuck-aroundery guy, which is very clearly a big answer in a lot of these, I'm sure, it doesn't really feel like that would have changed much if Vinny had all of the answers. Because, I mean...
Probably not for him.
Yeah.
But for us as the audience, I guess it was more like putting us all on the same page.
I suppose.
Because the audience and Vin, Vin is the everyman, which is, is a stand-in for the audience, in a way. So we're supposed to, it's like a reflection of each other. So in order for that to reflect on us, whether it has anything to do with Vin, was to keep the tape away from him and us.
Okay.
What about some of your other questions?
Oh, yes. Let's jump into some of my questions. Chat, also, you're welcome to jump in any time. If you feel like you have any good questions, we will absolutely get to you, don't worry. So, I'm going to go ahead and start with my first one, which has bugged me for ages, and I really hope Ren can finally explain a little bit. So, Mining Town 4. 4 kids, 4 monsters, but only 3 story roles. What are the monsters, the connections, and the roles?
Okay, so I would say Habit and Evan, obviously, connected to each other. That one's a given. Vinny, being the guy that all the monsters like, he is pretty much being watched by all of them. Is connected to all of them. But I would say his main monster is Slenderman.
Yeah, I could see that.
And so that would make
Jeff
Frake, I imagine.
Jeff just is kind of, I mean, he's the guardian, so he kind of gets involved with all of the monsters and stuff and gets killed. And Steph, well, she doesn't have a role, but she does have a card, so she's still, like, relevant, but also not. And I think it's kind of hard to have to explain this in hindsight, especially because a lot of it is, having to explain away out-of-game shit. The reason why she couldn't have been more in the series.
Yeah, no, I feel
I
like
think
obviously...
it worked, because her whole thing, even before she was written out, is she managed to not have to deal with the monsters as much by being ignorant, or feigning ignorance, I guess. So that's why she doesn't have a role. She doesn't participate directly in it, even though she's involved.
Yeah. So what's the fourth monster?
Is there a fourth monster?
Vinny. If you really want an answer to that, but I would say there's only 3 monsters. But I would count Vinny as being part of it unwittingly.
So you're saying Vinny is also a
I mean, he's his own worst enemy if you think about it.
How so? I'm really curious.
I mean, it did behave like an antagonist in the videos. We saw they had the twist reveal of him actually like.
I suppose so. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, and his fuckery goes beyond just I did this because I was scared. I did this because Habit told me to. No, that is still true. Like, of course, he's in a situation that he doesn't really have any control over. He's with this monster that can just fucking do whatever he wants with him. But a lot of the decisions, even before Habit comes into play, was all decisions that Vic made on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Bad ones. Really terrible ones. Like,
I do have
sending Jeff out to Evan's house, even though he hadn't heard from Evan in a while. Waited an entire week to go check on him.
I do have an interpretation on this, at least based on the video we just watched, the hour-long video. With the cameo appearance by the M.L. Anderson person, I think it was. Yeah. He gave a pretty long monologue. But among those things, I feel like, and I may have been taking this wrong, but I feel like he kind of given this implication that because they're in this big machine that's wheeling around and around, and slowly, the more it goes, the more it kind of... with every time it ends a tiny bit differently, and so there's an implication that after it resolves enough times, they should be able to get out. But it'll take a while. But so that kind of gives you the impression that maybe Vinny is trying to push it along. He's trying to push the machine along, which means he's working with the machine. He's trying to make sure it wheels forward because he wants to. He's hoping that approach will make it break.
Oh, interesting interpretation.
Yeah, I think that holds a little bit of merit. Before he understands fully, he's just like, well, shit, I gotta do it. I gotta see it all the way through. If I don't, then, nothing fucking happens. Not knowing that pushing is what is like the entire point.
Yeah, and it's killing his friends.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a chat question. Well, we'll kind of alternate. I think that makes sense. Okay. So we do have a question, but it's funnily enough not related to Everyman Hybrid, but it is related to Ren. What is Ren's favorite food?
My favorite food? That's hard.
It's okay. Take your time if you're not ready.
Chocolate milk. It's not a food, but it is to me.
That's fair.
I mean, you consume it, so I would class that as a food.
I love chocolate milk.
Yeah, chocolate milk's great, man.
Chocolate milk's great.
The moo is true. Nothing wrong with that. Good question, smiley face. Thank you. Let's see. Here's my ever favorite thing that I love to be so upset about. Why spend so long on the Jessa plot line, only to drop it like it's hot?
I feel like we kind of hashed that out over the course of the past few streams, which is like it was a production thing. They changed their mind about where the story was going. I wish they didn't.
Jeff's fucking story sucked in their opinion. in the
Jess's
guy's
story
opinion, they didn't
sucks.
fucking like
It's funny though. Like I have the opposite opinion of them. Like, I think the Jessica story was a lot more interesting than the way it went.
It felt so built up. It felt like there was a lot of emotion and drive in there, and it tried to really make you feel like these characters are human and they're real and they care about somebody who went missing and stuff.
And it's a pretty like inherently relatable human conflict. This idea of like, oh no, somebody I love is missing. That like. There's a reason that's a very common story idea for a lot of stories.
And then she dies off screen in a voicemail, which, by the way, we only confirm because we just have to kind of assume that's what happened. And then they almost never bring her up again.
It's like, I forgot what her hair looks like.
Exactly. But then later on, Vinny has a fucking meltdown cry session about a dude that he met for 5 minutes and poisoned and killed. Like, you went through all this. It's just crazy. It's just crazy to me that their emotional values are placed in weird sequences. Like Jeff, pretty much the entire rest of the story. I think he talks maybe about Jessa once or twice, and it doesn't look like he's grieving or having a hard time or, even remotely struggling. He's just kind of like going through the fucking motions. And I'm like, dude, you lost somebody that you literally made like cringy MySpace videos with. Like, what the fuck, man?
So I feel like if it's one thing to drop the plot. Like maybe they can make that work, but they should have they should have at least amped up Jeff's grief. Let us see Jeff grieve a lot more.
Yeah. Even just like one video of it, and I would have been like, you know what, that's something. But it felt like it was nothing.
Like show that plot line had an effect, even if we're not going to pursue it. Like let it have consequences.
Yeah.
I mean, she died. I mean, there's not really much to pursue, but the grief thing, they should have gone farther with that, I think.
Absolutely. Or maybe Jeff was like a little bit more emotionally distraught. Maybe he's more irate for a video or two. Anything that makes it look like they're still human.
I mean, he kind of was. I mean, he's a little depressed. We see him try to kill himself a couple times in like the Morse code videos.
Vinny also tried to kill himself a few times, and yet that still didn't really happen. So, like, it's
it happened. It happened. They just come back.
Yeah, he just didn't die. Which, I'm sure that gets brought up again in my questions, but we'll get to the confusing death stuff.
I suppose I have a question at this point, and it may be one that's on that list for all I know.
That's okay. Go for it.
It's kind of one of the fundamental questions, kind of an unspoken question, one that I'd just been assuming this whole time the story was going to have an explanation for. So, obviously, there's this iteration cycle. There's this machine going on. There's an abstract machine. There's the iteration cycle. For some reason, when these guys die, they come back. Although, there's a bit of nuance to it, because Vinny can die and then come back as the same Vinny. If he kills himself and he comes back, like nothing happened. But otherwise, if they die, they come back as, like, new people, like babies.
Their memories
but that's... My question is, who made the cycle? Is it, like, the Slender Man cycle? Is it... I don't think it's Habit's. Like, Habit didn't give me the impression that he was in charge of it. He seemed like he was kind of working with it.
I feel like Habit was trying to figure it out, which is why you see his handwriting in the Everyman play. But as far as who made it, like, it's not, like, explicit, obviously, but it's either Slenderman or it's just, like, a universal rule. This is what dictates the universe or whatever, but I think it has to do with Slenderman.
The M.L. Anderson monologue in that last thing, he kept on saying, like, he, and, like this is his doing, his cycle. So that implied to me it was a Slender Man.
Yeah.
But, the reason that it's a fundamental question is, like, there's an underlying deeper question here. Like, why is it focusing on these people in particular? Like, what's so special about them? Them.
Habit chose them. In Ryan and the 7 Trials of Habit video, there's like spliced in clips where Habit is talking to a blank, an empty seat at the table.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, Slenderman. And their discussion is talking about, Habit's like, I brought you these people, I should be able to do whatever I want with them. Talking about the rabbits, talking about Vinny and them. Habit,
so like
these
Habit,
kids too.
So Habit like brought these people to see what Slenderman would do. Well, I'm speculating here, but to see what Slenderman would do, and Slenderman was like, "Okay, I'll take them and put them in this weird time cycle." And Habit's like, "What? How the fuck does that work?" And he's spending all this time now trying to figure out how this works. Like I'm not making fun of that. I'm trying to process it.
Mm-hmm. we do understand that they have some kind of agreement. I mean, even the Rake mentions that there's some kind of an agreement, which I suppose I feel like the Rake is obviously out of the three of them. Like, let's say Slenderman's in charge, Habit is kind of second, but not really. Like, he's just kind of an underling, and then
he's trying to be in charge.
Well, no, of course, but even so, he also does the stupid thing of not trying to kill the boss. But we'll get into that. And then I feel like the Rake is kind of even lower on the ladder, but more accepting of his place, and he just doesn't really.
The Rake's just there. He's just happy to be included.
Yeah, that's true. He's just like, man, I got a fucking gig. I'm happy with this. What are you talking about, Habit? Like,
Well, of
calm your
course,
shit,
Snake
bro.
gets cut off, but
I think we can all agree then that it definitely feels like Slenderman is ultimately the one causing this iteration cycle. Obviously, yet again, like Ren said, it's not explicitly confirmed, but it's like that's the best speculation that anybody can have based on the information.
So in terms of the lore, yeah, it feels like Slenderman is the big bad. In terms of the user, or like in my personal user experience of watching and engaging with Everyman Hybrid, Habit comes across as the biggest bad.
Yeah.
But in terms of the lore, the Slenderman's the biggest bad.
Yeah. I suppose Slenderman caused the story, and Habit's the one telling the story.
Yeah.
yeah, but I also don't think Habit knows what the fuck he's doing.
Oh,
No.
well, I mean, that's so blatantly
Why would he
obvious.
fuck it up? I mean, he's a creature of habit. His whole thing is that he will always stop short of himself because he can't help it.
Absolutely.
I did like
He
that did
can't evolve.
emerge.
He will always do the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, that did emerge over the course of the story. Like I did eventually get the impression that Habit didn't actually know what he was doing. I did like that. I like the gradual reveal of that.
Yeah. Not every monster is smart, and Habit is one of them. And that was a nice touch. I completely agree.
I like to see limits to these antagonists.
Yeah. I mean, I also understand why Slenderman is, like, just fucking unstoppable. But that's okay, as long as not every creature you encounter is unstoppable, right? Like, that's fucking too much at that point. Let's see, any other chat questions? Excuse me, God, so rude, Jordan. Hello, King Goomba. Hello, Eric. Good to see you guys. Let's see. Leafy says, wasn't Jeff depressed for a while afterwards and didn't even notice the whole Rake thing because he was grieving at first? Yes. Very, very good, Leafy. Ren also said the same thing. No other questions I notice. Okay, so let's see. Really funny, because my next one was about the monster dynamic, but I get the feeling we've literally just answered that, which is awesome. Okay, here's another good one. So, let's talk about the Candleverse. Any idea on how they come back from the Candleverse to reality?
Like, mechanically, how does it work?
Yeah, because I feel like it's just... Maybe there's, like, a spot that they go to, and then that brings them back. But then, obviously, we also understand that they mostly come back without their memories. However, based on the one weird monologue of the M.L. Anderson guy, I suppose, yet again, maybe that's how M.L. Anderson stuff works. I don't really fucking know. I don't really remember M.L. Anderson works. Nothing against him, I just don't remember it. He seems to remember everything that happens every time he comes back, whereas none of our main characters in EverymanHYBRID do. I'm guessing that's just a fun side thing, which I'm happy to dismiss that. That's not a problem.
Or a special case.
Yeah, so it's interesting to me that whenever they die, they go back to the Monster Sanctuary Candleverse place, and then I'm guessing Cornthal brings them specifically into the Sanctuary area, and maybe at some point they come up with a new plan, and he sends them back. That is my assumption. I'm wondering if Ren might have more insight.
Well, firstly, I think what we see at the end is their first time meeting with Cornthal. Because Cornthal's only been there since 2005. And
Okay.
when we see the Morse code video C, we hear them talking about that encounter. And that was 5 years after it happened. So it was like right before the next iteration, right before the channel iteration. So I think that was their first time ever meeting Cornthal from their real world selves, and then actually being able to congregate with him in the Eden.
So,
I mean, there's no real way to know that for sure, especially because they don't keep their memories. But based on the conversation that they have in the Morse code video, it doesn't seem like they have had contact with Cornthal directly.
So
that the only reason they know what happened is because Habit told Eben, or that information was shared between them.
Yeah. So let me process this. Process in my own words. So for one thing, they'd obviously met Kornthal when they were children in like the 80s or whatever, and he was their adopted guardian. But so, but then, so I feel like Kornthal's arc in this, he's like somebody from the outside. He's not part of the iteration thing. He's someone from the outside, like seeking out the Candleverse, and he's been able to successfully find a way to the Candleverse, and that's what makes him significant.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Essentially.
Okay, and so
I think
so that they all meet in this cool dramatic moment at the end of the story. They meet in the Candleverse. They meet him for the first time, besides when he was their adopted guardian. But like he made that happen by seeking out the Candleverse. And like that's what he's been doing all this time.
Yeah, well, I mean, we know that he's yet again carved out this sanctuary in the Candleverse, but I believe the Candleverse is also like the monsters. Yeah, but the Candleverse is also like the monsters universe, right? To our understanding, and obviously they have like complete control. So I'm guessing we understand that Slender Man, I guess, does something to people to make them come back to the monster sanctuary, which I guess causes this iteration cycle. But it's only really an iteration cycle because it's just a reincarnation kind of a type deal where basically it seems like their bodies truly exist in the monster universe, and that whenever they die in our world, they obviously go back
that's
there.
exactly what I was going to say. That was one of the theories that I had wrote about a long time ago, is that there's two bodies. One of them is real. The other one is the one that is inserted into our world.
The
and
fictional
manipulated. Yeah, the real one.
Yeah.
But that one is just a set. Like, it's real.
Yeah.
But everyone has so much control over it.
But it's based on the Monsterverse one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Slenderman has so much control over it that, I mean, it's just their lives are manipulated for them, right?
Yeah.
So he takes them. They die, and they're in the Candleverse. They come, he takes them, remakes their bodies in the real world, writes their memories, implants family, puts them in. They do their thing. They die sometimes and come back because they haven't fulfilled their roles. And so, when they do die and they fulfill their roles, they go back to the Candleverse. And the reason why I'm emphasizing the two bodies thing is because we see Evan in the Candleverse active, even though Habit is still in the real world with his real body running around. So it would seem to be like the two can exist at the same time. If that's true for Evan and Habit, if they can split their bodies like that, then I guess it would seem to be that their real bodies are in the Candleverse, and they only wake up when their body in the real world dies.
Okay. All right.
That seems legit.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. We're understanding more things. We're getting a little bit more info. Let's see. Anything from chat? King Goob is heading off to work. Have a good day, my buddy. Have a good day. Nick is catching up, but Nick also says Jeff was mostly behind the Scooby-Doo mystery stuff. Evan was mostly behind the gore stuff, and Vinny was mostly behind the psychological horror stuff from 2018.
Yeah, so they kind of split their story into the different arcs that they wanted to tell.
So
That's what more Scooby-Doo mystery, people disappearing, gotta find them, whatever, finding shit. Evan, Habit, gory little edgy man. And then Vinny with the psychological isolation, being put away.
Yeah, it's almost like, in a way, it's almost like the full arc of the story is divided into thirds. Like the first third of the story is kind of Jeff focused, and then the second middle third is kind of Evan focused, and the last third is Vinny focused.
Yep.
Interesting. Let's see. What else have I got? Okay. So Kornthal, the hardcore, enigmatic doctor who saves kids, potentially commits crimes, fights monsters, carves out a personal sanctuary in their world, does what for years before making his appearance in this series? So if
find
you
out
remember,
the
because he doesn't appear in the 2010 timeline.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously in letter form, but that's obviously just to kind of give us an idea of who he is and what he's done and stuff. But I think when he first makes his appearance is the quote unquote back in time sequence when they're in the shipping container, which yet again that's a back in time sequence. Not really worried about that. Easily explainable.
Right.
That's fine. But the first time we actually properly see him, I think he's talking to Vinny, and it's. I don't think it's in the sanctuary, but it might have been.
I think they were in the sanctuary.
It might have been in the sanctuary. Yeah. So are we? I think if I remember right, Ren, you said that since 2005, Cornthal has been in the sanctuary world. I guess just kind of making that little safe place and defending it against the monsters.
Yes. And I don't think, well, I was going to say, I don't think he can cross over into the real world, but he obviously did. But only because of the property, which is one of those blind spots, or like places where the veil is thin.
Yeah.
And the two worlds combine.
Yeah.
Or maybe only through that mechanic he's able to come through, and that's why he hasn't, because the only way for Fitting to have even found him in the first place was to go to the property and find him, I guess. Run into Slenderman, have Cornthal fucking save him or whatever. But there's a lot of debate about whether Cornthal's even alive, right?
Yeah, I guess the real question then is: do we count the monster universe as a realm of living? Because it might not be. It might be a realm of where like souls are dead, right? In which case, yeah, that argument makes sense.
Yeah, and I would say that would be a good way to describe it, because I mean, whenever Habit or Slenderman, take out the rabbits from the tournament, those are who ended up as the dogs. If you remember, Cornthal calls the cameraman in The Day the World Ended, 151. So in the tournament, way back when, right before it began, Habit had to eliminate rabbits 151, 152, and 153 for some unknown reason. He just announced it on Twitter. He was like, these rabbits are dead. You're pissing me off. You're making me have to do all this stuff on my vacation or whatever. Those rabbits aren't people. I think those rabbits were, or at least, no, okay. I don't think those rabbits were real in the first place. I think Slenderman was trying to implant them, and that's why they're kind of fucked up and easy to identify. I mean, Habit was able to fucking figure it out and kill them or deal with them before the tournament started.
Okay.
So yeah, so you have the cameraman people, and we also see a plethora of other fucking hooded figures that come into play and go after Daniel, or end up in Habit's house.
Yeah.
Those are other rabbits, in my opinion. I think those are other rabbits. Their bodies being used in death to facilitate whatever Slenderman and Habit wants after, like, in the Candleverse.
I like that. I actually really, really like that answer. I sadly don't 100% agree with it, but I really like that interpretation and that answer, though, and I really wish that was 100% true. And it probably is far closer to the truth. I think my only argument is the fact that the problem is, like, I mean, Ryan is a great example because he did die, but I don't know if he died because of the fact that he failed the trial of habit and that's why he died, or if it was a freak thing. I'm pretty sure it was a connected to the trial of habit failure. Yeah, but then when they did the proper... Yeah.
And also outside help. He was reaching out to the EMH guys.
That's right. But whereas in the 7 trials of habit where they had actual people join, those rabbits that were eliminated, obviously not the 3 that you said were killed, but other people who just, I guess, failed the trial or weren't good enough or whatever, voted out and stuff, they didn't really die.
They're okay. It's not explicitly said that they're dead, but I think the implication is that they are.
Right.
They die when they're eliminated because there's a couple other rabbits, like the Jester, or like the guy that did the shit with the Jester. He died. There's a whole video about like his friend getting kidnapped and like some crazy shit happening. I don't know.
Okay.
But he died.
Fun. I like that.
And during the early days of the trials, Habit they had like a tiny chat or whatever, and Habit was asked what was the purpose of the trials. His answer: body count. Now, what would you need bodies for if it wasn't for a purpose other than, oh, I have all these bodies that I killed? I feel like it makes sense to take that and see the amount of fucking zombies that start showing up.
Yeah.
I'm just putting two to two together there, but
I absolutely
love.
I love that answer, and I so 100% wish that was like confirmed or anything in the storyline, because that to me is like, oh shit, that's fucking awesome actually, because then it's like he probably has done this countless times where he's obviously ultimately trying to find, well, whoever's the best of the best, they're going to be my ultimate life form, and then I guess it goes with Evan anyway, so fuck the trials, it's just for funsies for him, and getting bodies for all of his stuff. I love that shit because that's twisted. And it's weird. That's awesome. I love that. But then you have our main guys join the trials. And that's where it gets complicated. Because they quit the trials, which then means they should be eliminated / killed. But they're not.
Well, they're the ones that Habit can't kill.
Plot armor.
Not until...
It's plot armor.
They basically had plot armor. That was the only reason why they were able to get out of the tournament, which I don't know why they were ever involved in it to the extent that they were, if they were just gonna drop that, it didn't matter, they got eliminated, but
it did feel weird, yeah.
But it kind of confuses the implication of what happens to the other rabbits, as you're saying.
Exactly.
But the other rabbits, pretty sure they're supposed to be dead.
I much prefer that answer. I mean that to me has got to be canon in my head. I much prefer that answer. Quick question then, because we know Alex also joined the Trials of Habit. Can you clarify for me whether Alex died because he failed the Trials of Habit?
I mean, Vinny killed him.
I think he was one of the ones that got volunteered to be put out. Right. Alongside Vin.
Oh, when they... Because he secretly joined and they didn't know he joined, right?
Yes. And I think once they found out, Jeff had messaged that dude, one of the rabbits that was, deciding, and was like, here, I want you to put up my name, Vin, Evan, and my brother. Eliminate us. We don't want to be involved in this. And the reason why Alex doesn't die is... well, he has the rake attached to him.
Yeah, but he does.
Rake don't want him to go anywhere yet.
I mean, he does die though.
He does die. But that was.
But not because of the trials. Okay.
That's because Vin is like, oh, you're hurting my ego right now.
I hate you. Yeah, kind of.
I can't let anyone know that I'm kind of an asshole.
That's true, yeah, but because obviously Alex found out the secrets of Vinny kind of. Which
really was the most milquetoast fucking thing he knew. He didn't fucking know anything other than you guys are bad. Yeah. And Vin was like, oh god, we gotta get rid of this guy now.
That's too much.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, people will clearly believe the guy who walks around with a jukebox of his dead parents. Yeah, absolutely. You're very true. You're very true on that. Let's see. Here we go. Leafy asks, Ren, what's your take on Habit's cameraman in smiley face versus whatever Slenderman sends in half acre of ash versus when he tells Vinny at the end that the cameraman is his? Are all the same type of thing? Oh, I guess they're asking if all of the cameraman dogs are of the same affiliation. Are they all working for Slenderman? Are they all working for Habit? Are they all working for both? Do you have any ideas of the camera dog people?
I don't know. It's they seem kind of like free agents where Habit can probably grab one and be like, here, you film this for me. Or Corinthal ended up having 151 with him somehow.
Yeah.
And then we see Slenderman, apparently, had sent one of them to record Habit while he's having a breakdown. So I think they just do whatever the fuck the next closest, smartest entity is.
Yeah.
And just follows him around and fucking, just watches with their camera eyes about whatever's happening.
Makes sense.
But But as for what they are, I believe they are 151 through 153, the rabbits that got eliminated before the start of the 7 trials. And I don't think they're people. I don't think they ever were, which is why they were eliminated.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. The Slender Man would like put plants in this to maybe keep an eye on Habit or whatever. Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. Yet again, another thing that would irritate Habit. Good answers. Like that. Let's see. Do you have any questions? How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I thought that whole subject bored me, but
that's all right. I'm just trying to understand things.
No, it's okay. I don't think I have any more questions.
Okay. No worries. I know I do. So here's one that irritates me. Corinthal. He can make phone calls from the Candleverse.
Although, well, I don't know about the logistics of that. Maybe Ren can offer some of the logistics. But we did see in the phone messages that there's like, we finally got you this cell phone. Now please start using it more. There's this implication that like, it's a character flaw of his. That he forgets to call people all the time. So that will be why he doesn't call Vinny until like right at the last minute. He's like, holy shit, I've got a phone. I could just call him. Although I don't know logistically how he can make the call from the Candleverse.
Yeah, that's I suppose the true question.
Logistically, he has to have Evan and Jeff go make a connection at the phone tower, which we see him instruct them to do and see clips of them kind of doing.
Yeah.
When they sent the stop watching tweet out. That was something that happened either probably a long time ago, maybe a previous iteration or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember.
Anyway, they figure out, I guess, that phone tower can connect to the real world. So Corinthal's like, okay, guys, you need to go make that connection so I can make this phone call so I can call Vinny. And the world is shifting. It's ever shifting. It seems like Corinthal has a grasp on the pattern, but it even in the day that the world ended, he's like, oh, it's already shifting. He still doesn't have, like, he's not tuned in to everything exactly, so it's difficult.
Yeah.
Communication is difficult.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. I would understand if he can only make one phone call a year, like it's just very difficult to do kind of a thing. I can understand that. But if he's been in there since 2005, let's say it took him 5 years to essentially make his little safety circle, the sanctuary. So 2010, when Everyman Hybrid started, let's say that's when Corinthal makes the sanctuary and, you know, all that. In which case, I think it took like 7 or 8 years for him to make a phone call.
Well, you know, so the character flaw thing. He just doesn't think to use the phone.
Yeah, but it does feel
it isn't the most satisfying
answer. It's a bit weak because it's not like this is a casual phone call. You know, that this is like a life or death type danger situation, which obviously he's fucking aware of. And so for me, it's a bit weak. You know, like, I do get a character flaw, but yeah,
it definitely isn't satisfying.
Yeah,
especially the fact that we find it out after the fact rather than before.
Yeah,
but
I also don't think time runs the same in the Candleverse.
That's possible.
Well, I mean, that definitely makes sense, especially with the fact that you mentioned the tweet that they sent. You know, it's a tweet that we're aware of years before. So yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense to me.
Timey-wimey shenanigans or whatever.
Yeah, Doctor Who. Big bowl of timey-wimey nonsense. Let's
Wibbly
see.
wobbly, timey-wimey.
That's right. Oh, hang on. Nick asks, is the real body is in the candle world, but don't wake up until they die in our world? You said earlier your explanation on the iteration cycle.
It's part of it. It's not my original take. That's something I thought of, you know, after I initially, like, had my initial big thoughts on how it works, which is, I think, you have soft resets and you have hard resets. The soft resets are deaths that do not result in the whole iteration restarting.
Yeah.
It might branch off, which is what we see in the Morse code videos, events that might not have happened on our main timeline.
Uh-huh.
But as far as, like, the main timeline goes, you have the soft resets, they die, they come back immediately. Maybe there's a subtle change in like how they look, or what they remember.
Yeah.
Because that varies too. Either they remember it or they don't, and sometimes in between. So you have soft resets, and then you have the hard resets, which only are allowed to happen once the roles are fulfilled.
In which case, then maybe
So-
they're there for a little bit of time and then start new many years later, kind of a thing. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I can. That makes sense to me. Okay. Yeah. I don't love it, but it does make sense to me, and I appreciate
It
that.
cuts down on the complicated timeline. How many fucking timelines there are? How many iterations there are?
Yeah.
Because there could be 2 timelines of the same iteration, but what we see, what we experience of it, is only one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's the alpha timeline, but we see what happens in other timelines and how that, or like we see what happens in soft resets.
Yeah, but
and
not
how
like
that
the full thing. We see like
has an
snippets,
effect.
like you said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I like that, because otherwise, if you got like entire storylines of soft resets and it, yeah, that would definitely be way too much. So I like the idea. It does explain some of the bleed through effects and some of the randomness and shenanigans. Yeah, I like that actually. I really like that. Let's see, what else have I got? Okay, so done the phone call one. Do you believe Corenthal would have been a better life form for Habit to inhabit? And if so, why couldn't he?
I think so.
I think so too.
Like Cornthal did end up being kind of a badass.
Corenthal was, certified badass. There's definitely no denying that.
He got in a shootout with half a town.
Yeah, clearly Habit struggled to possess him, even though Habit's always like, I could possess anybody at any time, multiple people and stuff. But for some reason, it does feel like he couldn't take Corenthal. Because I feel like if he had Corenthal, he wouldn't have let him go.
Oh yeah, for sure. He also fucking hates his guts. But let's see. I think the reason why Habit chose Evan and not Corenthal is because, first of all, the iteration cycle wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah.
It was just Corenthal and his, group of people around him that I guess the monsters were keeping an eye on. Because as Patrick says in Tower on the Lake, Corenthal was another Vinny in another time. I don't think that necessarily implies that there was an iteration cycle, considering Corenthal is old. But I think Corenthal was someone that they were keeping an eye on. And Corenthal acted in a voyeuristic way. He was the blueprint, I guess. And then, so Habit finds these kids, gives them to Corenthal. The iteration cycle is decided on and starts. And the reason why Habit needs Evan specifically is because Evan is written to become... the Firebrand is written to become one. Like, the 2 that are in the Firebrand role, that is in the description of the Firebrand, they become one at the end. So in order to make Evan the ultimate vessel, that and don't get me wrong, reiterating over and over again, that is a huge benefit, okay? But I don't think Habit wanted to keep dying over and over, having to restart the cycle over and over again. I think Habit wanted to take Evan's body and have the cycle never end. Have it just go on forever. Kill Vinny, or, maybe keep Vinny around for as long as he could, which it seems like he tried to do.
True.
And then live out eternity in the real world with a body that cannot die. Not by Slenderman, not by anything at all except the fucking knife.
Well, yeah, or any god killer weapon. I suppose the only reason Habit decided not to go with that plan, even though it sounds like, I agree with you, it sounds like that was the plan, and it worked at one point. It sounds like he got bored, and inevitably he's like, well, I guess, my only real choice is to die, and I can't die by conventional means, so we're going to die with the god killer weapon. I'm pretty sure I asked that question later on, but we will inevitably get to the god killer stuff as well. But we do have more questions from chat. So Leafy Potato asks, Oh god, where was it? Considering Habit is splicing in video footage from what looks to be parallel timelines, I suppose the soft resets, do you think the monsters are aware of all parallel timelines at once?
Slenderman obviously would know about all of it because he's mostly the reason why they fucking have to soft reset in the first place.
I would feel that.
Either that or they kill themselves or, something happens. Slenderman obviously would know. The Rake has premonitions. Why the fuck would he not know? Habit, on the other hand, I think is the only one who doesn't know. Because Habit, I don't think Habit is omniscient. He's not all-knowing in the same way that Slenderman would be, or the Rake.
Yeah, but then what about...
He's just like a fucking monstrous guy who has cool superhuman abilities and, likes killing people, but he's not, tuned in. He doesn't know everything.
So then how does...
So he doesn't know how everything goes at one time,
so how does
until it happens.
How does the video footage end up in the channel, then? Like, the video footage from alternate timelines?
I think he is able to access it, but only after the fact.
Hmm?
Like, he knows they're there. He doesn't know what exactly is going on. He can't plan for it. He can plan for it up to a certain point, I guess. But when that point is reached, which we see towards the end, he can only get that footage if it's already there.
He doesn't see it live, yeah. No, yeah, that makes sense to me. I mean, yet again, it's also the fact that we get to bash Habit, so I'm totally cool with that. Leafy also continues to ask, or would each
Habit's not very smart.
Sorry?
Habit's not very smart.
Yeah, no.
He's kind of stupid.
He likes to think he's smart, though, and I think that's pretty funny.
Absolutely.
So Leafy continues with, or would each timeline have its own set of monsters, and Habit just has the ability to grab footage from there? I feel like you kind of inevitably have answered that one, really. It does seem like Habit can get the footage, but like you said, it does seem like he gets it after the fact. It's not like he knows exactly what's going on, because otherwise I feel like he would do more shenanigan fuck-aroundery with it, for sure. Especially to really, mess with the main timeline people. I feel like that would really work to his advantage. So yeah, I think that works. I think that makes sense to me. Let's see. Here we go. Here's one that I'm a little curious about your answer for. Are there specific areas that the monsters control? For example, the Rake kills Jessie and her grandmother, but only in that certain, I forget the name of the place. Slenderman seems to be in all the forests. I mean, that's classic. But also randomly in a spot in Brooklyn. Maybe that's just where he works, like an office job. I'm not really sure. And Habit apparently just goes wherever Habit chooses to go. So do you feel like they have specific zones they're meant to just kind of be in? How do you feel like any of this works? Yes, yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's obviously a connection with Slenderman and the forest. Hold on, let me find the question. Where did it go?
The question's not on there. It's on my it's on my list.
I don't think they have specific places because they end up kind of going everywhere. I mean, obviously, like I said, Slenderman lives in the forest. He's a forest entity.
He's a nymph, yeah.
The Rake is just kind of around. Habit has a theme of houses and Euclidean spaces, I guess. But as far as where they reside, all of that's in the Candleverse, I think. I mean, I think Habit wants to be in the real world, or at least thought he wanted to be in the real world, until he realized it was fucking boring, the same thing over and over again. But the Candleverse is probably their origin point, I guess.
Makes sense. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Absolutely. Let's see. Anybody else? Nick says that. Oh, here we go. Nick does ask, how does Habit know enough to prophesize the Voyeur, Firebrand, and Guardian thing? I suppose, how does he know whose role is going to be whose?
Maybe that's part of the agreement he made.
Knowing whose role is going to be his was pretty easy, because, I mean, we've seen in the Princeton iteration, which we don't get a lot of information about, but we have enough about Vinny specifically to be able to say that he probably falls in line with the voyeuristic tendency still, because he is recording himself, recording his own suffering.
He's going to group therapy of jack-off sessions. Yeah, completely right.
Yeah, he's having a hard time. And in tape 3, we see how he treats his friends, i.e. Roger. Granted, Roger was writing a story about him, and he did not like getting a taste of his own medicine, which won't really be his own medicine until the next iteration, but he splits on him for essentially writing a story that he didn't like about him, because he thought it was going to make him look bad.
It doesn't even like try to talk to him about it. Like, hey, could you not do this?
Which is the same kind of character motivation that Vinny has in the channel iteration. How Habit knows about everything else? I mean, I think the Voyeur, Firebrand, and Guardian roles go back all the way to Fairmount. I mean, you have Firebrand. I mean, obviously that one was always going to be the same, because Firebrand has the two entities attached to it, which is Eben and Habit. So that was always going to be Eben. The Guardian and the Voyeur, we can see those traits in the Fairmount children as well. When Cornthal is talking about, Jeff, and Jeff's always, and when Jeff is worried about Steph when she apparently almost overdoses on her pills. Jeff's the one that's being worried and stuff, and Evan's being all fucking weird, and Vin is like the mediator. He takes Evan and goes outside. He just watches. He doesn't say anything. He just watches, and then he takes Evan outside to calm down the situation. So those roles were set in stone pretty early on. As for how Habit could prophesize it, I mean, I'm not sure if it's so much it might not be so much of a prophecy as it is something he contributed to the cycle, right? So you have the cycle. Yeah, it might be his part of the agreement. He gets to write in these roles, what they do, or maybe only specifically for Firebrand, because he needs the Firebrand to end a specific way so that he can get away with the body without it having to die. The Guardian and the Voyeur role, they end with death. The Firebrand role is ambiguous. So I think I think he must have had some hand in writing out what was going to happen. He just didn't know what these specific events that were going to occur.
Yeah, I suppose ultimately he believes that they will slot into roles. They might not always be the exact same roles, but they will always fit into one of these roles, and Habit is there to see who is going to play as who.
Right.
Yeah. I'm satisfied with
and that leaves me with a thing that I want to address real quick, which is Habit, when all good things, he throws the knife in the woods. He takes Vinny's glasses off.
Yeah.
He seems like he knows what is about to happen here. He knows that he needs to throw a knife in the woods. Whatever. I think he only knows that because I think he only knows that because there was a soft reset where he had to kill Vinny immediately because he didn't find the star. Right? And then, that takes Vinny back. He goes to actually find the star. He comes back. Or Habit knows enough about what's going to happen. He's prepared for it. He wants it to happen a certain way. First time, it doesn't go the way he wants. Right? Have to do it again. Go back. So in the iteration that we see, in the version of the events that we see, Habit already knows what he wants to happen. He knows he needs to throw the knife, and he is sure to take Vin's glasses off because, I don't know, maybe something fucked up the first time. And he knows now this is what he needs to do to make sure that it happens specifically the way he needs it to actually end it. But I don't think he knows everything. Like, I don't think he knew literally everything up until that point. You know what I mean? I don't think he knows every single thing. He knew that specific thing that he needed to do for that to play out correctly. But everything else is just kind of like, he has to pick and choose and grab what information he has available to him based on who has died and had to reset and like all this other stuff.
So why, in your opinion, why do you think Habit didn't try to kill Slenderman with the God Killer weapon? We can say he's a dumbass. I think that's a fair answer.
Honestly, I think it's because Habit became disillusioned. He knew that he's nothing compared to the power of Slenderman. I mean, that guy controls 2 fucking separate universes, and one of the things that's established early on, or is like implied early on, I guess, is that there's like a power struggle between Habit and Slenderman going on.
Mm-hmm.
To just drop that at the end seems kind of strange. To be like, oh well, that none of that mattered. It was all just this, that, and the other. I think Habit's monologue in Half Acre of Ash is him realizing, oh shit, I kind of suck. I'm actually not happy with having a perfect body does not matter because I will never compare it to what Slenderman can do. He can do whatever he wants, and he doesn't care. He just wants more bodies, he wants more people. It doesn't matter to him. But it matters to Habit. But Habit can't do anything to change it. At least, not until he gets the God Killers. So yeah, I think Habit is given up. He gave up. And not just gave up and, like, killed Vinny and, like, you know, restarted the iteration like normal. Like, just having them go into the Candleverse without meeting Corenthal. He knew it was too late for that. It's he willingly gives Vinny and Evan up to Corenthal, which I think is pretty significant considering he fucking hates Corenthal. But in the end, he decides to give up and give them to him. I feel like the only reason why that would the only thing that makes that make sense is if he himself had given up, in a way. He knew that he was not going to get ahead of the ball, either ahead of the kids or ahead of Slenderman. It's just not possible. So, yeah, I think that's why he didn't go after Slenderman. Even though he very well could. The God Killers probably could kill Slenderman.
I would assume so. But,
based on what Habit says.
Yeah.
If they are what they say they are. He says it is, which he is a liar, okay? But I don't think he lies about literally everything. That's kind of stupid.
It does feel silly that they go through all this effort to get this God Killer weapon, and ultimately, I suppose that the argument is that Evan, in some way, shape, or form, has become an immortal or a god or something, and that's part of the reason why it had to happen. I don't fully believe that. I feel like that's kind of a weird cop-out. I feel like when Habit inhabits Evan, he can be that way, but I feel like Evan, regular Evan, still is a human/mortal. That just, it feels kind of weird.
At that point, Habit had fully taken over his body. Evan does not exist inside that body anymore, basically. He's been
why put him back in the first place then, you know? Like, it just felt... Habit could have just stood there and been like, hey, just kill me. You know?
Yeah, because that definitely was Vinny versus Evan.
Yeah, it was just fucking...
Oh, yeah, like, for sure. He was able to bring him back, but I mean, like, because it's still his body. And there's still, like, a smidge. There's probably, like, a tiny, tiny bit. But if Habit isn't inhabiting his body the entire time... And Habit can... Habit himself cannot be killed while inside of a body, but the bodies can be killed if they're not prepared the way that Habit had prepared Evan's body. We see that with Roger Palladino and the SWAT team. They fucking get shot in the head. They keep going for a little bit, but they eventually do die. Habit's bodies can only survive past specific limits, like severe head trauma, spinal trauma, whatever, trauma to the heart. I don't know, shit like that. Very fatal things like that will kill him. Will kill the body. Won't kill Habit. But shit, I lost my train of thought.
It's alright, no worries.
Okay, more questions?
I do still have a few, and then I've got like 2 joke questions, just because I feel like it's a good way to end it.
Yeah, so, sorry, I'm not really contributing much to this.
It's okay.
Most of the stuff is just logistics.
I was just prepared. That's all.
A lot of it is logistics.
I'm definitely not as interested in the logistics of the series. Like, plus, a lot of it is kind of self-evident to me, I guess. But,
okay.
Again, yeah. Well, that's because you got all the information. Imagine if you didn't have any of this information, you just had to fucking figure it out after the fact.
We would have definitely given up ages ago, or we would have just been like, this series is bullshit and that nothing makes sense, and we would have probably gone with that answer. But we wanted.
That's why I made sure to give you everything you needed, because at least if you didn't still understand it, you would have it all, and I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
Because some people, they just go through Everman Hybrid, skip fucking like so many important things, and then and maybe I'm just being salty, but they just act like such huge super fans, and like, no, if you didn't watch the Princeton tapes, you can't call yourself a EMH super fan. I'm sorry.
That's fair.
Ren confirmed. Has the stamp of Ren's approval. If you didn't watch the Princeton tapes, you were not a fucking super fan.
Princeton tapes, listen to them.
Even we count as super fans, and we wouldn't call ourselves that. Okay, we have the badge, but we're not going to wear it. Okay, that's okay. I don't really have a question for you, but who knows? Maybe I will at one point. So, actually, I do have another little note. So you mentioned that while Habit's inhabiting somebody, they cannot die.
Well, they can. It just takes a lot to kill them.
Okay. So if Habit were still inside Evan during that final fight, even though they had the God Killer weapon, you think that wouldn't have worked?
I think he would have died still. Because the God Killer was meant to kill what cannot be killed.
So, do you
Which is why I find it interesting when Habit tells Vinny, oh, if it touches me, I'll just get hurt. It'll just be painful. If it touches you, you'll die in seconds. That feels like a lie.
Yeah.
I think he's I think he's covering his ass so he doesn't tell Vinny directly, like, hey, this could kill me. I could die from this. This could actually kill me and Slenderman and everything else that you want. Because he doesn't want to put the target on himself. But he already proved in 2395 that Vinny was not going to kill him. That was the whole point of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and to know that he would be able to survive.
It doesn't make sense that you just kind of fucked off and let Evan and Vinny fight. If Habit couldn't have died anyway from it, then it wouldn't have mattered whether he was there or not. So I think you're right. I think Evan. Well, I think
that's
Habit
why he had to
could
leave.
have died, but ultimately Habit didn't want to die. But he did want his ultimate body to die, even though we're aware that Habit can leave a body. It's still just like it's just dumb, isn't it? It's just kind of fucking
I think
dumb.
at some point he had become attached to. I mean, like it's obvious that like throughout all 3 iterations that Evan and Habit have some sort of inherent connection to each other.
Yeah.
Habit can like lead and he can do whatever in the early stages of the iteration, but I believe like towards the end, as he's possessing him more and more, he cannot detach from him.
Right. Okay. But then, so then the argument becomes, well, if they go through all this effort to get the God Killer weaponry, Let's say that kills the body, obviously, of Evan and Vinny, because obviously he also got attacked by it. They still then go back to the reiteration cycle, in which case then Habit will ultimately still go back to Evan anyway. He has changed literally nothing.
Yeah, they didn't need the God Killer.
Yeah, it made no difference.
They could have died by normal means. And
I mean, maybe not Evan, so I can understand that argument.
I don't necessarily think the next iteration cycle will happen. Because if this is the first time that Corenthal and the gang have gotten together, and they're in the Eden, which they're fighting off the monsters from, and if that's their real bodies, and Slenderman needs their real bodies to be able to reiterate them, if he cannot access them directly because they're in the Eden,
send them back. Okay.
How is the next iteration supposed to start?
Okay. But then isn't it just an endless attempt of Slenderman and his forces to inevitably attack their Eden, their sanctuary?
So it becomes like an eternal tower defense kind of thing.
Yeah, in which case I guess Everyman Hybrid then becomes Every Tower Hybrid or something. But, you know, it still feels like it's just the same thing but in a different form. It's weird.
I can see that being very unsatisfying, but that's why I don't necessarily believe that it just goes on like none of that mattered. Yeah. Like, putting the camera down never mattered, nothing that mattered. Like, the guys, they can say whatever they want about how, like, the point of it being hopelessness, but there is so much hope in between the lines of their series that I don't... Yeah. Either they are intentionally downplaying it because they want people to be able to figure it out for themselves, that it's not the way that they say it is, or they're fucking stupid, and they wrote their series stupid. But I don't want to believe that. I think they actually put some thought into it, and put some thought into how they were going to present the series after the fact, so that they didn't immediately just give away.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The good part, the hope that is there.
Like, frankly, like, even in my more cynical moments, I do still believe that they put more thought into it than I give them credit for. Like, I still, like, at the end of the day, Everyman Hybrid, after watching it all, it's still not my cup of tea. It's not my kind of thing. But I've got a lot more respect for it now. And I do think that, like, I think that they did... It's a better story than I was expecting. Not quite as good as I was hoping it would be, but they put thought into things I didn't expect them to put thought into. Yeah. And it's pretty good thought. And it's a commendable series.
Oh my god, are you going to wear the Superfan badge?
No.
Oh.
Yeah! Superfan badge! I'll design it and everything.
I still kind of hate the series.
I'm not going to wear it.
That's fair. I mean, EMA just like Homestuck to me. I like Homestuck, but I also hate it. I like Everyman Hybrid. I love it to death. But throughout this whole live stream, and I've known this before too, but this live stream specifically has kind of opened my eyes to, wow, this series is pretty flawed. But being a super fan myself, I have to find the flaws charming. But
yeah, of course.
Especially
because
you live part of it.
Criticize and talk about with the series and like the problems it has with the writing and the pacing. And the subject matter sometimes, and their choice of words. Like, there's plenty to say about that.
I think it's mainly the pacing. Like, the pacing is the biggest, like, the biggest question about the series.
Terrible.
And plus, like, when I say I hate the series, that's more just that's the punch. That's a punchy answer. I don't. It's not.
I hate it.
It's not a passionate hate anymore. It was for a while, but like, now that it's over, I can look back on it more fondly. I'm glad I went through it. I don't want to do it again. Maybe... We
don't want to do that. Even in my own rewatches, I just watched the last couple of videos.
Yeah, like, there's some videos I wouldn't mind rewatching again, but I'm definitely not going to go through the whole thing again.
Hell no. I wouldn't. I wouldn't either. I don't.
Yeah, I completely feel that. Let's see. I'm not worried about Why No Jail. I mean, that's an easily arguable thing. No problem. Even though people end up in literal bags completely mutilated, but you know, it's fine. I think that's an easily arguable point. Let's see. Corenthal was accused of murder in a few states, and he no get caught. Yet again, I feel like it's just all part of the song and dance, and inevitably he disappears into the Candleverse, potentially dead. Hard to say. It depends on whether that is a realm of dead or not. Let's see. Why did Princeton Vinny die so randomly in an area we believe is so important to the plot? Did a monster do it? And also, did he enjoy hoagies?
die like when he was talking to Dr. Peters?
Yes. Do you feel like a monster caused that?
I would guess probably.
I would say probably.
I think so. I think that was an instance of a soft reset, right? So you have the first instance that we hear on the main tapes where he goes and he fucking has a seizure and he dies. And then we hear the second version of events that happens probably, right after that. So he dies, comes back. It goes back in time a little bit when it happens, obviously. He talks to Dr. Peters and he gets trapped in the hospital by Dr. Peters, who is being possessed by Habit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
So the first time I think it was Slenderman because he was getting too close to the truth. And then he dies and comes back because he hadn't fulfilled his role or whatever the fuck. Whatever was slated for that iteration, like his role had not been fulfilled yet. So he comes back, talks to Dr. Peters. Again, Habit's like, "You are a determined little cunt, aren't you?" And then chases him.
Yeah. That would also be like the first time Habit appears during the 80s iteration.
Yeah.
In the flesh, yeah.
Okay. No, I mean, yet again, I feel like the answer was mostly self-explanatory, but it's actually nice to get a little bit more input and insight, because I think it definitely makes a lot of sense. Did his grandma ever listen to his 2 hours of tapes?
His grandma's not real, bro.
Bro, what the fuck are you talking about? His grandma's gotta be real.
Grandma's not real!
Why is he making tapes for a lady who doesn't exist?
Who was he talking to on the phone?
Bro, like, what the fuck?
Because it's okay. Implanted memories, and whoever he was talking on the phone, they are real insofar as they exist, okay?
You're saying Roger's not real?
Roger's real.
So
The
Roger's
real
real, but
world
his grandma's not real.
The real world is technically real. Like, it is very real. The people that are in it are real, but it's so heavily manipulated that, like, they're all just kind of hamsters in a cage, right?
Right. So
quality.
So there is a grandma. She's not really his grandma, but she's more like somebody playing the role of a grandma.
Right.
That's who we talked to on the phone. Anyway.
So in that sense, then, so obviously because all the memories and stuff like that are implanted, fictional, fake, which explains why they never really see their parents and blah 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 and stuff. And it makes a lot of sense for a lot of things. I completely get with that. What the fuck's up with Jessa then, huh? Is she just not real at all? Because she definitely was there and she definitely died.
Oh, she's real. Like I said, they're all real. These are all real people that are bumbling around in this world that looks like our own, right? But as soon as they become irrelevant, or like they die, that memory of them can be taken from them, which is why, because they weren't real to begin with. They weren't like really their parents. They're just people, random bodies.
Are they living in the Matrix?
Yeah, you can call it the Matrix. I mean,
Okay.
It's kind of it's. I like to think of it as a set for a play. It's all play.
The world's
The main stage, on the stage. Yeah, the world's a stage. Or like Truman Show, they bring that up too.
True.
The actors and the people are real, but they're just playing roles. And even those people's memories are probably manipulated in order to fit in to why these random people that just got put in, they know them, certainly.
Nick asks, are Jeff's parents real? It's a tougher one, because Alex isn't actually Jeff's actual brother, right?
Well, like I said, they are real, but
But Jeff doesn't remember them.
They are physically real. Jeff. Well, and again, their memories can be manipulated, so them not being able to remember them after the fact is due to that memory being taken from them actively.
Okay.
So you could say that their parents and their friends and the people that they meet are real, like they're real people, but they're not really their friends. They're not really their family. They were put into that role. That role was put on them. And when they die, I mean, they just kind of get taken from their memories as torture, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we've definitely seen forms of that. I completely agree. Well, I've only got one more question for you, Ben. This is a pretty serious one. I hope you're ready.
All right.
Does Slender Man even lift, bro?
No. Have you seen his arms?
Yep.
This man's got twigs.
He's called
twigs.
the Slender Man, not the Jacked Man.
I am.
Yeah, exactly.
So
he's not
concerned.
the game man.
All he had to do was let them carry on with their fitness blog, and Slender Man could have got ripped.
Yeah.
Right. He was just trying to get some tips, man. He was trying to get some tips and tips.
And actually, like, if they'd carried on with the fitness blog, then they would have gotten like if Habit and Slenderman had been subtle about it, they could have gotten a bigger audience and been spread to so many more people. They really God, they fumbled with that. They fumbled with that. They needed the fitness blog to carry on.
Seriously, they fumbled. Slenderman's stupid.
Completely agree. So I get the feeling that you've seen like the Q&As with these guys and stuff, yeah. So you definitely know quite a fair bit more info, which is really, really good. I get the feeling they've been asked what's the story or what is the point of the story.
Is that the question?
And their answer, they don't really answer it. I mean, their answer to basically, you know, what happens next, what's going on, whatever, is to put the pieces together. They literally said that. They're like, you have all the pieces, you have to figure it out yourself. But they did say that all the pieces are there to figure out a answer.
Okay.
And I don't think it's wrong to think of Everyman Hybrid as this thing that has a concrete solution, because it's not math. You know, it has answers, but not enough to be like, this is absolutely the truth. This is absolutely what their intent was. Because I don't even think the guys had one single unified intent with their story. They all had contributed their own ideas, their own wants, and what they wanted to see. And I think they all have their own interpretation of what the story is.
Yeah.
Which differs from each other, even as the creators of it.
Interesting.
So there is enough information, and that's why I've spent the past 10 years on this series, is because, like, literally the only way to understand it in its complete, in any complete sense, is to go back and, you know, think about what questions you have and try to go find the answers and try to piece it together and put it together.
Yeah. Right. So, I guess my question I've just come up with after that question.
Yeah.
Are any of the creators working on new projects now? Do you know? Any of them telling new stories?
I know Vinny went on to go make some movies. Jeff, I don't fucking know. Who cares? Evan, sorry, Jeff is not. We don't talk about him. Evan, he does Twitch, I think. And he also does D&D on Twitch. As far as other projects go, besides that, I'm not sure.
That's fair.
I mean, you can probably find Vinny somewhere. Let's see. I know he worked on a movie called Lilith. Oh, shit. Which he did with two other Slenderverse creators. Jeff's written books. I mean, you can read his books if you want, but
my life is Slender's bitch. Like, what kind of books would he write?
Jeff, it was an original story, kind of about Eldritch shit too, but not Slenderman.
That's cool.
I'll explain like Everyman Hybrid, the untold story.
I was given no control, man. The story was bullshit.
the untold story. I mean, that's like a big majority of Everyman Hybrid is untold.
It really fucking isn't. And so I do feel like I think you're right. I think a lot of things can be understood, can be somewhat explained. I think the only issue is the fact that it feels like we can't get anything truly confirmed through the creators, and that's where it gets a little iffy, you know.
They're very that pissed me off too. It's like, why do you have a Q&A if you're not going to answer questions?
Yeah, exactly. You know, like,
but I feel like they kind of take pride in the fact that their series is so hard to understand. I think they take pride in the fact that they're not going to hold their audience's hand to explain it. I don't think they like that kind of thing, which I don't either. I don't want a fucking series to handhold me the entire way.
Well, no, but
no. Would I like some more concrete?
I don't think they're very good.
I would like some more concrete answers. Don't get me wrong, but if they hadn't done it right, that would have made. I don't know. It just wouldn't have been what it is. I think what makes Everyman Hybrid what it is the fact that it's so complicated, so.
You can use tons of adjectives, and they're all going to basically mean the same. Exactly. It's complicated, it's convoluted, and it thinks very highly of itself.
I don't think that.
I think
it
does. I think it thinks very highly of itself, especially with the fact that they're like, yeah, now figure it out. We're not going to tell you anything. We're not even going to give you hints.
They're not saying that with like a snarky attitude, but they don't want to give away all the answers, I guess. Even because they know that they're there. Though? I guess it's the thing. They know that the answers are there, so they don't feel they don't feel it's necessary to completely sit down and explain it all. Because first of all, that would take forever, anyways. Even because they were just doing it.
Are you satisfied with that though, Ren? Knowing that no matter how much information you have, and no matter how much digging you've done, you will never 100% know the confirmed answer of Everyman Hybrid. Does that not feel like a slap in the face?
No, not really, because I've done a lot of due diligence to fucking understand this series.
How do you know you're correct, though? How do you know you're correct?
I don't. And that sucks.
Thank you.
But my thing is, every other person that I've ever debated this series with cannot come up with the amount of information and background and canon stuff that I can to back up what I'm
saying. Yeah, I agree
so,
with that.
as far as I'm concerned, if I have my grounds covered and I know that I can debate people on my shit and have my shit backed up, I don't care.
No,
I mean, people can have their interpretations, but I'm satisfied with mine because I know that I did the work.
I'm very torn on this subject because I happen to love stories that don't explain themselves, stories that give it like a jigsaw puzzle kind of plot where you got to piece it together yourself, and stories that were in a lot of cases like a storyteller won't explain things outside of the thing because the story does all the explaining for you. And because there's a famous example of David Lynch. The reason that he doesn't explain any of his movies is because he's not very good with words. He making movies is how he explains things.
Yeah.
And so like the movie is the explanation. Like and then there's people like Danielewski, like, wrote House of Leaves and The Familiar and everything. He's actually quite forthcoming about many of the details of his stories and even some of the insight behind the meanings behind some things. But there's a lot of things that he leaves. He steadfastly leaves as a puzzle for people to solve. One of which being the fact that his own he gives his name as Mark Z. Danielewski. No, that's not his legal name. And people ask him what the Z stands for. He just refuses to answer that, like it's some big mystery or something.
That's funny though.
No, so I'm fine with Everyman Hybrid doing this in theory, but then on the other hand, I just don't like Everyman Hybrid very much. So I do wish they had explained things a bit more, and I'm gonna be looking at it through a more cynical lens than a fan would be. So I'm not gonna be totally fair to it, even though I'm gonna hold that back because I don't want to be a dick, especially not here on the stream. But my point is like I'm torn on this. Like I respect it for doing that, and I also am cynical and mad at it for doing that.
Yeah. I mean that's how I feel about it too. Like I as much like I was pretty excited for those Q&As to come out, but it became obvious in the first one that they were not going to be completely forthcoming with some of the answers that they gave.
Right.
And that sucked. I was like, well, I really wanted to know if anything that I was theorizing on was correct. But
if
I kind of have to take it in stride because, I mean, one of the reasons they gave for not wanting to explain it all is that they've seen other people online, they've seen people's posts, and they've seen them nail it completely.
But they don't confirm it.
And so they felt like if people out there got it without them having to explain it outright, then maybe they shouldn't explain it.
That's
maybe,
fair.
Maybe the story does say what it needs to say. So maybe I am right.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm one of those people that they're talking about, you know? So it's like...
Well, it'd just be good to know, right? Even if it was just as simple as like, hey, you got it. That'd be good enough, right?
I don't know. I think it's fun. I think their perspective actually makes a lot of sense because if it's possible for people to make sense of it, if they've seen proof that people can make sense of it without an explanation, then that means that the story has done enough. The story has done what they were trying to do.
I get that.
And if I were to earnestly try to tell you by my earnest guess at what the meaning of the story is, not necessarily like the secret to some lore thing, but in terms of themes, the theme of the story. I think it was quite explicit on the M.L. Anderson monologue and the semi-final thing we saw, the tape number 3, because he gave a pretty philosophical kind of an outlook on this. He talked about the broad strokes of the cycles and the machine that they're caught in, and the fundamental conflict, the question of do you fight against the machine or do you go with it, and how long is this machine going to last for, and he kind of just said like. He kind of said, like, at the end of the day, like, it may go on kind of endlessly, but there'll be a lot of iterations, but it will stop. And he was saying, like, there is hope. I can't tell you how long it's going to be until we have a happy ending, but there will be a happy ending. Like, and that there is a sort of hope in that, and there is even that can reflect in the real world. Of thinking, like, even if things look bad now, even if it looks like they may continue being bad for a while, it's not going to be forever. Like, it cannot be forever. There's always going to be entropy. There's always going to be friction. There's friction gunking up these rotating machines. The machines are always going to stop. They are not perpetual. And yeah, so if that's what I think the meaning of Everyman Hybrid is. I think it was spelled out in that video.
But you're not a super fan.
No, I've basic media literacy. I mean, I don't mean that. That sounds. That's worded wrong.
Right, though.
Yeah. I don't mean, like, basic, like, other people are stupid for not having this, but I mean, like, I have a very literal media literacy. Like, I focus on, like, I'm mechanical. I have a rather mechanical mind when it comes to media literacy.
No, I completely get that. I know for me, like, I do my best to understand everything I consume. And yet again, not everything will have all the perfect answers. Not everything is spelled out for you. And I completely agree with both of you. Great hat, by the way. Very good nod. The fact that, like, I enjoy a mystery. I enjoy something that, you know, isn't fully spelled out to you, but all the pieces are there. Right. Even if you have to go through multiple sources and ways and sites to figure it all out. I enjoy things that feel like they make sense. They connect in a way. They're meant to make you feel certain emotions and empathize with the characters, and you know all these amazing things, and they could teach you things, they could tell you stories. I love that shit. I think the only real big issue I have with Everyman Hybrid is the fact that it feels like they wanted to tell this amazing story, and I do believe they did that. I do believe it took them a long time to get there, though, and I think they had to kind of chop and change certain things over time. I feel like they had one initial vision, and that vision did have to change as it went along.
Yeah, I think that's inevitable as well, from how long it took them to tell the story. It will
and then, of course, people like dropping out, which then obviously changes lore in certain standpoints, and I get that, especially with like people in their lives, and some people just aren't passionate about a project anymore and stuff. I completely understand how all that kind of stuff works. So it's obviously to their detriment, but I don't hate them for those circumstances where it's out of their control, naturally. And I think ultimately they got somewhere. I do believe they got somewhere, and there was a level of answers that was that's easy enough to find. There's also plenty of answers that are not super easy to find unless you have somebody telling you exactly where to go, or in some cases a wiki, which can have the answers, but it doesn't have every single answer, and it's also a little like
pretty fixed so bad.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like if the wiki were up to date and it was properly good and stuff, And maybe even if like the wiki
You
had
can probably-
summaries of things as well, just kind of like save you a bit of time. I think there's ways to do it which would certainly improve the viewer experience.
Yeah, there definitely are quality of life improvements that could be made,
For sure.
even like now. They wouldn't take like they take a bit of effort for a short period of time. Then once it's done, it's done. It's preserved. It's on there.
Yeah.
I felt it.
But they've sadly left it up to the fans, and I think that for me is a part where I'm like, well, that's, in my opinion, not good enough. This is your work. This is your story. Ultimately, as any kind of storytellers, artists, whatever you want to describe yourself as, you want your work to be timeless. You want it to be consumed anytime. You want people to always be able to jump into it and to enjoy something. Even if it's convoluted, complex, and takes you all over the fucking place to figure out, you want it to be accessible. You want it to be like, hey, even if it's just like, start here. Here's a guide. It'll kind of point you in the directions to really help some of this stuff out. You're going to consume a lot of time, but it doesn't feel like they've done that. It feels like the wiki is all fan run. If the wiki didn't exist, Everyman Hybrid would be almost impossible to consume. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It wouldn't even be a story that you could consume anymore. Like,
I think it might be fair to say that like it seems like there's echoes of another thing you've complained about. You
can say complained.
Yeah, but I think there's a connection here and some significance because you said that like you don't like how in terms of the story you don't like to have the creators are leaving it up to the fans to figure it out for themselves, and in terms of the experience of watching it, you don't like how they're leaving it for the fans.
They're just literally leaving it all to the fans, even though it's their work.
I think it might be fair to say like, if they just took care of the preservation part, then the other one will be fine.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
But they didn't, and
that's
my
one of the
biggest argument. You know.
Yeah, it's like
that's one of the biggest issues I see with fans is that like I'll talk to them and then bring up something that they don't even know about.
Exactly, you know, and that's not even the fans' fault. It's just they didn't know about it. You know, and that's
exactly.
That's where I'm like, look, these guys might have told a great story, but they didn't do a good job of making sure that you could always be told the correct story.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a shame. I feel like part of that is just because they got tired with the community and the fandom because they have had some pretty bad experiences with some fans. And so I feel like they kind of was just like, well, it's over now, and I'm kind of tired of this shit, so bye. Which sucks, though, because
that is almost like they're not even
people like
proud of
me,
the work
you have
they
people like
do, right?
me and fans who actually do care and actually love the series.
It's
and,
a shame, isn't it?
I don't know, it's kind of a shame to just like throw them under the bus because
of a few bad apples. Exactly. It's just not the way to be. It's just not the. I mean, you know, like I'm not exactly a great storyteller, nor have amazing original works of my own. But I want to make sure that no matter what, people have a way to access them. And, you know, I want to make, especially with the one that I'm doing now, that will encompass a variety of stories and inevitably have like a website link. And it's going to have all kinds of fun stuff. But I'm going to make sure no matter what, even if not everybody likes it, the people who do like it, I'm like, hey, you can always access it this way. This is how this works. These are the story things. This is how you know, I want to make sure they can do it so they don't have to do all the fucking work themselves, right?
Right. Mm.
Yeah,
it's just, you know, for the people who do care. I don't need millions of people to love it. It doesn't matter to me at the end of the day. As long as even a few people like it and they appreciate what I've done, you know what? That's good enough for me. And I'll make sure they have an easier time with it. It's
I take the preservation of this kind of thing seriously as well.
You have
I have a website now where I've written over 100 stories over the course of the 2010s for the internet, but most of them were preserved on blogs, on Blogspot or on Tumblr or Weebly or WordPress. But with making my website, I've been porting them over, making web page versions of them.
Just in case those things aren't accessible anymore. Exactly. You just never know.
And plus, it also allows me a lot more control in how to present them, because I'm no longer limited to just how like Blogspot allows me to customize it. I can do whatever the hell I want with it. But it's also just like, I don't know. It's important to do, and I've also like helped preserve a couple of other people's stuff, but it's important. It is important. It is
important, you know, and like, you know, I mean, even so, like, you probably don't have millions of fans, but the fans who do care, you want to make sure, hey, it's here. It's easily accessible. You can always get to it.
I have like 10 fans at this point,
and you know what? That's still something. Yeah. And you shouldn't shit on even one person. You know, if even one person likes what you're doing and they want to find more of it, it's true. Like you gotta ignore all the pessimism and be like, hey, look, one person likes it. I want to make sure they have a good experience and they don't think that I'm a shitty person just leaving them under the bus.
Yeah.
because you know.
I mean, and that's kind of why I've taken it upon myself to be like the ambassador of the series, I guess. With you guys and with the community in general. Because if they're not going to do it, who is?
Yeah.
It's commendable. There's only a handful of people who even know this series like I do. If even that. So, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. And I personally am proud of, being able to be that person. So
you should be proud. Yeah.
You should be very proud. You're doing a hard fucking job, and quite frankly, you're nailing it. You really, really are. Because I mean, if I'm honest with you, from the first stream, I know Jordan and I both probably had the same opinion. We're like, we're not gonna like Everyman Hybrid. And yeah, I've got to say, getting all the way up to this point, especially with your help, and even with the fans like Nick, for example. I mean, obviously, there's other people's names I'm forgetting at the moment. I do. Possum Kingdom is another one. I'm sure there's more, and I do apologize for forgetting your names because I'm an idiot. But without you guys, we would have probably given up on this. We would have probably not given it the full due diligence, even trying. It would have been difficult. And I mean, even now, I'm like, I do like Everyman Hybrid. I don't love it. I wouldn't call myself a super fan, but I can appreciate. I can appreciate it for what it is, and all that. There's been plenty of good work that went into it. There's been a lot of, and the fandom is die hard, and I can see why. I can absolutely see why.
Yeah, you are the ambassador of Everyman Hybrid.
You are the Everyman Hybrid.
It's like your job title.
Yeah.
And Yay!
Go over to Vinny and ask for a paycheck.
You won't get one.
Yeah, give me a paycheck, bro. I'm doing all this hard work for you guys. Like, I'm fucking promoting your series, making sure people understand it.
You do a damn
Gotta give me a raise. Hire me.
But from what Nathan just said, apparently I have you guys to thank and to blame for the fact we had to go through all of Everyman Hybrid. I didn't even know there was a chance of us giving up on it.
If I'm honest with you, I didn't even know there were like audio logs and stuff. I had no idea what we were gonna jump into.
If I didn't know that there was a chance we could have given up on this early, then I would have sabotaged it myself.
I feel like we would have got 4 streams in, would have probably been like 12 hours into it, would have been quite frustrated, confused, and feel like we're missing things, and things are incredibly confusing and lost. And yeah, we might have been like, look, we might come back to this, we might not, but, we've done our best. We've done 12 hours of this. We don't understand what we're missing, but we are clearly missing things. We're very,
Okay, that would have felt crummy.
It would have felt crummy, but, I feel like if you throw 12 hours at something and nothing makes sense, you're incredibly lost, you feel like you're missing critical information, you probably aren't even aware there's like a fucking Tumblr blog and stuff, you're missing critical things, it really ruins the experience, In which case, are you doing it the due diligence? I would have felt like we were just doing a shitty job. So,
And to your credit, I mean, you were starting out the gate with the wiki, which I mean, the wiki's not perfect, but if you had kept using the wiki, you would have gotten most of the same information that I gave you. But it would have been really annoying to parse through because the fucking wiki is terrible.
As we found out.
Sorry to the people that run it. Sorry to the people that contribute to it, but.
It's your shit. It's out of date.
Fan wikis are like that. I've experience with them.
It does happen. It does. So it looks like we do have a couple more questions from the chat, and then that might be it. That might be it. Let's see. So Nick asks, question for Ren: do you think the EMH world is a mirror universe, different Earth in the multiverse, or our Earth straight up?
I don't agree with that question.
Well, you do not have to.
I don't. I'm going to stay quiet.
I think it's potentially connected to a night mind theory.
I think the world, the real world that we see the guys inhabit is, I guess maybe you would call it a mirror universe. I don't think any of it. I mean, I kind of have this meta take where it's all not real because it's all a story.
Right.
But that is kind of not everyone's cup of tea. But even in the sense of it being like an ARG, I don't think that like their Earth is our Earth 1-to-1. I don't think it's the same.
Yeah.
I think our Earth is looking on their Earth from the outside, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
They're able to interact because of the places where they combine. It's the dual universe thing. That's reflected both in the series and our relationship to the guys. And the reason I say that is because I think the intent is that the audience knows that Everyman Hybrid is not real.
Yeah.
They are experiencing it as what it is, an ARG. Which is why I included that interview by that fan, because that fan came from our verse, was able to, I guess, enter through a window to theirs to talk about the series from the perspective that we would have as outsiders. And he starts going on about, oh, how did you make this effect happen? How did you do this? And Vin's like, no, this is real. This is really happening to us.
Mm.
So if that guy is a representation of us as the audience, then that would lead me to believe that we are outsiders looking in. That we sometimes are able to get through to their side, either by becoming a participant or, showing up on videos. But they're not the same place. They can't just move freely between each other. It's not like a one-to-one. It's not the same.
Yeah.
Slenderman does not exist in our world.
I mean,
At least not in the way that it would in Everyman Hybrid, obviously.
No, it's a good answer. I like that. Any other last questions? How you doing?
I'm okay. I'm warm.
I get that. It does happen up here. I thought there were more questions. There's not really, but there are a couple of last little comments I think are quite interesting. So Leafy Potato says, shout out to the complete compilation. They did a pretty good job of preserving stuff. Not a shout out to us though. Sad face. But hey, I mean, good to them. Good to them. Nick says, you did a good job, Ren. That's nice. That's real nice. Then Chaos says, this conversation is giving me flashbacks to your Decay the Mare play, Nate. Oh, that was a fun game. I really liked that. I was all in, and you were all in on me being all in. It was a good fucking game. I really enjoyed that. I gotta say, but I like me horror stuff or point and click stuff. I'm all over that shit. Let's see. Little Duck left and came back confused. You sure did. Oh, my phone has died. That is okay. I have
No.
it happens. I've got chat on the screen here. It's okay. Let's see. Smiley Face, you asked that ages ago, so I'm not re-asking that. Abigail asks, not asking, sorry. I honestly like when the viewers have to work for it. It makes me use my brain, and when things add up, you see what they are saying, as well as you develop your own thoughts and opinions on it. Of course, absolutely. I completely agree. Especially when it makes sense, or you connect the dots, and it's like, oh wow, it's even better if it's confirmed. But I understand why it might not be in some regards. Nick says that makes sense about the fan. It just felt like though those three possibilities that they aren't in our world are in our world, or are in a different universe in the multiverse of our world, were the only three possibilities. Maybe I still don't really.
And Smiley Face, the answer was chocolate milk, by the way. We did it.
Yeah.
We asked Ren the question earlier.
Yeah, come on, Smiley
My
Face.
bad.
But apparently, Smiley Face was in the shower, apparently, or something.
That's not our fault. It's in the fucking VOD, bro.
No, taking a shower through my guest appearance.
Yeah. So fucking.
How dare you?
So rude, bro. So rude.
Ask me a question and leave?
Honestly, yeah. Just like, where's the logic? You should have at least then paused the stream and then come back and watched it.
There you go.
I mean, come on, come on, man. Chalky milk is a drink, not a food. Does not matter. It is still consumed. Therefore, you can say
if you put in a chocolate powder and syrup, and it becomes a food that you
can
have
just
to
eat the chocolate powder and have a terrible time. But I mean,
there you go. Eat the Ovaltine straight up.
Yeah, you can do that. I can't wait until you take on goddamn Hiding in My Home. I think you mentioned this one before. Hiding in My Home. I feel like I've heard of it, if I'm honest with you, but I really don't know. But it's on my list. I know it's on my list. I know I wrote it down. Or no, have I? No, I wrote down Red Hat. Hiding in My Home. I'll have to write that down. I haven't even watched it. Only Nightmine's video on it. Alright. And Smiley Face's favorite food is drywall. That answers a lot.
Yeah.
It really fucking does.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, boys and girls, we have officially made it we've made it all the way through Everyman Hybrid. It took us 9 streams to get here. But thanks to our fantastic guide, Ren. And the fantastic viewers, commentators who've been helping us throughout the way. And our stubbornness of due diligence. We've got there.
Bravery. You were brave.
Thank you. That's so sweet. So brave. I really hope you got the answers you wanted. I feel like I've got as close as I can get, which is probably how Everyman Hybrid is meant to be. And that's okay. It's not
Gotta
great,
let stew.
but it's okay.
You're brave.
It is what it is. The MVP squad. I like that. That's good.
That's flattering,
really
yeah.
good. This has been a fantastic time, and we really enjoyed ourselves. We really hope you have too. And I get the funny feeling this isn't the last time we'll have seen Ren. You never know. There might always be future streams where Ren is there. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll have you on. You're welcome guest.
I will
always
be
like having
around.
guests. It's fun. It's fun having guests. We don't obviously want a million guests, but I feel like one guest per stream is quite nice. Nice little dynamic. Very good shit.
Yeah, this has been fun. I like this. It was great answering questions and yapping about Everman Hybrid.
I'm glad you've enjoyed, Ren. We really enjoyed having you. It's been fantastic fun.
It's been
All
great.
right, everybody. Well, really hope you enjoy your night, your day, whatever time zone you're in. That's up to you. Bye for now.
See you next week.
Oh yeah, for Jordan's project.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah, let's go.
I hope everyone doesn't hate it.
Do you want to tell them about the project while we wave them out?
Oh, I'm excited for it.
It's music. It's a lot of music. There'll be stories within it, but the focus is on the music rather than the stories. So like, if there's a story, it's a good bonus. There will be some good bonuses though. It's music. Get ready for music. It's copyright free.
I hope so.
It's Creative Commons. Like it's completely like do whatever you want with it. You can profit off of it. I don't mind.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it's music. See you next week.
Bye.
Yay!
Bye.